treat her like I treat the spread. Tight for now, but I widen when the pressure hits. She asked where I've been, I say chillin', but my screen time say I've been back fillin'. She posting thirst, I'm posting entries. DM's full, but my trades get envy. I'm not who you flex, I'm who you text. When the volume low, when the rent's a threat. Don't ask me where this going, I don't chart that far ahead. I treat your love like options, only exercise in bed. You don't want me, you want risk. You like danger, dressed like bliss. I'm not stable, I'm just green. I'm that spike inside your screen. Would you chart me up and ghost me fast? Hold me close just to short my past. You ain't love me, you just bet. And baby, that trade ain't settled yet. Ain't settled yet. Told her trust me, then I hedge. Played her close, then cut the edge. She talk feelings, I talk range. She want dates, I want games. We don't cuddle, we consolidate. We don't talk, we speculate. She call me fake, I call her late. She cried once I watched the tape. Don't ask me who I've been with, that's just low resistance. I don't chase, I pivot. This ain't love, it's business. You don't want me, you want risk. You like danger, dressed like bliss. I'm not stable, I'm just green. I'm that spike inside your screen. Would you charm me up and ghost me fast? Hold me close just to short my past. You ain't love me, you just bet. And baby, that trade ain't settled yet. You drew lines, I broke them. You set rules, I smoked them. You said stay, I froze up. You said love, I closed up. You don't want me, you want risk. You like danger, dressed like bliss. I'm not stable, I'm just green. I'm that spike inside your screen. Would you charm me up and ghost me fast? Hold me close just to short my past. You ain't love me, you just bet. And baby, that trade ain't settled yet. You don't want me, just a signal. I'm a flash, not foundational. You ain't love me, you just bet. And baby, that trade ain't settled yet.
Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where you're Matt, I'm Kohrs, and together we have the worst trading show known to man. We're starting a little bit early today on a beautiful, Tuesday, July the 15th, I want to go with. I think that's the right date if you believe in calendars. But we are starting early today because in a mere 7 minutes, count them down, we're going to be hearing from our boy Rick Tilley, the man who makes the magic happen. We are going to be getting the next CPI, the Consumer Price Index Inflation Report. Very important one because it's going to be the most recent CPI report heading into the late July FOMC meeting. So last CPI report that we're all going to get, not only the Fed, but all of us involved, before that July 30th FOMC decision. Right now, market is gearing, well, at one point, as I hit go here, we had a little bit of a hiccup, but at one point we were gearing to open up at a new all-time high. So we've had a little bit of a switcheroo. Yesterday, Bitcoin ripping, stocks a little bit questionable in the morning, and now we're flipping that. We have Bitcoin and crypto taking a bit of a breather while stocks are absolutely skyrocketing right now. And this has a lot to do with some very, very important announcements related to the semis world, specifically Nvidia and AMD. But really the entire semiconductor sphere getting a huge pump this morning. Nvidia up about 4.4%. Soxel, the whole sphere, Soxel, that's a leverage one actually. That's up 4.4. So you have Nvidia up, you have Avago up, you have ASML up, the whole sphere is AMD's up. So they're looking pretty good. But then a completely unrelated sector, the financial sector, is also looking good because they started to report this morning. JP Morgan, Citi, PNC, Morgan Stanley, a lot of the financial sectors reporting. And we have more numbers to get, but I just took a little bit of a quick peek before I started with you folks, and they were also looking good. So tech's looking good. Financials are looking good. We literally in pre-market trading, if you're counting that, hit new all-time highs. And then the question is it going to hold past this inflation report coming out at 8:30? And then what's it going to look like at market open? My hair's a little bit ajar. My apologies for that. I know you guys come here for perfect hair, but hey, it is what it is. It was my birthday yesterday, so I ate a lot of cake. So I woke up with a little bit of a sugar hangover and probably a little bit of an actual hangover. So that is my excuse of why my hair was not perfect. My apologies for that. I know you guys expect perfect hair when you come to the show, and that's what you guys deserve. As my digital internet friends, you guys deserve nothing but perfect hair. All right, let me show you what's going on. Right here, SPY looking pretty good. Past about hour giving a little bit back, but once again, this is all pretty much going to change in about 3 minutes when we get that inflation report. Probably going to pump up, drop down. Really depends on if we come in hot or not. The line in the sand for this, CPI year over year is 2.6. Month over month is 0.3. So 2.6, 0.3. Those are the lines in the sand that we need to be paying attention to. Basically, if we come in cool, look for the market to pop. If we come in hot, look for the market to drop. If we come in at expectations, well, then it's going to be a little bit more dependent on all the kind of nerdy ass details related to the numbers, because it's not like they just give us this number. There's these entire reports, and then you have to start looking at the sectors and what's driving it, what's not driving it. So basically coming in higher is not so good. Coming in lower is very good. Coming in at expectation, well, it can kind of be dependent on what in the world is going on. So that's coming out in right here about 2 minutes. So I don't want to miss that yet. Right at 8:30. Okay, cool. I had this fired up. Obviously, we're going to be listening to our boy Rick, ideally coming on very, very soon here. They're talking about Nvidia. We're going to get into Nvidia, but the TLDR, Nvidia shares jump on China chip news. Basically, they're going to start shipping some of their chips before we have those chip export controls. Apparently, they are loosening up a bit, and that's why you're seeing the entire sphere popping, bringing the Nasdaq up, bringing the entire market up. So great news. As I alluded to a little bit, we are hearing from a bunch of financial players. They're looking pretty good too. So financial players beating, tech sector popping. If this is kind of the final shoe that needs to drop, if we can somehow also magically get a cooler than expected inflation report, it's going to be a very, very, very good day. So that's kind of what we're setting up for. Actually, let me get this. I don't know what that's about. Oh, this is the all-time high. So on the SPY, which is the ETF created to track SPX, the all-time high is 626.87. So just mark that out. For a good portion of pre-market trading, we're above it. We're now slightly below it. But overall, we're looking pretty freaking dandy. Now, before all these reports come out, which we have about 1 minute and 10 seconds, if you guys could do me a massive favor, take a second out of your day and smash that like button. I know it's annoying to remind you, but it really does help with the engagement, and then it promotes the show to other people so we can just keep growing and growing the Goonie community. Obviously, that's the main thing I ask of you guys is if you like hanging out with the show, just like, subscribe, all that good stuff. 100% free for you, but it really does help us out on this side to keep doing this show. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get this set up. 15 seconds. What's everyone's best guess? Are we going to gap up or gap down? What is everyone's best guess? You literally have less than 30 seconds to answer. You have less than 30 seconds to answer. Best guess. Best guess, best guess, best guess. We're currently at 626.55 on SPY. You think we're gapping up, gapping down, bullish or bearish? Cast your vote now. If you cast it late, it does not count. You have officially 15 seconds left right now. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Are you bullish or are you bearish? Gap down, down two. We have some negative Nancy's in here. We have some negative Nancy's.
Artificial intelligence is a big activity.
Where's Rick?
It's going to change the nature
Gap
of
up, new
commerce,
highs.
the nature of national security. It's inevitable.
Bada
so
bing,
the question is, how do
bada
you maintain a
boom.
leadership position both as a country
Wow.
and also here in the Commonwealth.
fucking
In the
Earth
foreseeable
to
future, I think what it offers is huge opportunity to grow.
Earth to Houston.
Jobs.
We are rocketing,
I see
brother.
with the investments
Look at
today,
that
many
pippity
tens of
poppity roo.
thousands of
That
new
is
construction
a
jobs will be
right
created,
back to the
many
pre-market
thousands of
highs, which would
permanent
also be
jobs.
fresh
These are
all-time
great
highs.
paying jobs for Pennsylvania workers.
The rough
And
equivalent
so
here
if you
on
accept
SPX is
this
right around
reality,
6,300.
then the question is, how do you be at
It's
the
reading
forefront of it
6,295.
and have
Cool,
the
buddy.
energy innovation
Cool.
and the
And
AI
it's holding.
innovation, the technology
It's
innovation
holding.
that supports
Who
Pennsylvania's
is this
growth.
guy? Get him
In
off.
the foreseeable future, it's all positive.
Get this
We're gonna have more
fucking
and more
nerd
jobs,
off.
and
Give
we'll
us
have
our
to see
boy
as things
Rick.
evolve how it affects certain industries.
If they don't have
We gotta
Rick on
thank
in
you.
3
We got
minutes,
CPI
we
numbers
riot.
just coming out. The markets
Start-
are moving on the back
start
after
counting
the event
down.
today. Thanks.
Give us, get
Thank
him,
you.
get the fuck off there.
We do have that breaking news right now. Let's get straight to Rick Santelli.
Thank
for more
you.
on that.
Finally,
Rick, take
give
it away.
America what we want.
Yes, this is our June read on CPI,
Look
the
at 'em.
consumer price
Fucking
inflationary guide, and it is a
nothing
little
but
warmer than
sex.
expected
He's a
on
sex
year over year,
symbol.
but headline looks good, up 0.3
Look at that guy.
as expected. That does
Man.
follow up 1/10. Up 0.3 would be the second
I've never
warmest
considered
of the
batting
year.
for both teams,
January
but
was
here
the
I am
warmest
looking
up
at this
0.5
guy.
1%. This is as expected, but 0.2 hotter than the rearview mirror. If we strip out
All right,
food and energy,
expectation.
comes in 1/10 cooler than expectations.
There we go.
Up 0.2. We're
Core
expecting up 3.
month over
The
month,
rearview
taking
mirror
out
was up
food and
1/10,
energy.
up
A little bit
0.2
cooler.
equals
That's probably
where we
because
were
of the
in
pop.
April. To find a higher number, you're going once again back to January, the high watermark for the year, up 0.4. Now let's go year over year. Year over year headline. This includes food and energy, is up 2.7. That's 1/10 hotter than we were expecting. It's 0.3 hotter than our last look at 2.4.
All right.
And how does it comp? 2.7.
So
would be the
basically,
highest reached
tariffs
since
are
January,
starting
or
to be
February.
felt.
February
Tariffs are
was
starting to
2.8,
drive inflation
January
up a
is
bit.
3.0. So even though it's less than it was at the beginning of the year, it did warm up just a bit. And finally, if we go year over year ex food and energy, arguably, in my opinion, one of the most important numbers, it comes in at 2.9, exactly as expected.
Okay.
But it is 1/10 hotter than the rearview mirror, which was 2.8.
Interesting.
2.9.
Interesting,
Well,
interesting.
It would be the warmest read since February once again. You had January and February 3.3 and 3.1 respectively. So even though we have made progress from the beginning of the year when numbers were higher, we do see a little bump on the year over year. Maybe the best.
If there is a
news
God,
the
Rick would have an
monthly,
OnlyFans.
core number up 0.2. It certainly seems as though the market was expecting this or worse because interest rates initially moved lower. We're basically unchanged pre-number. 10-year note now hovering at 440 actually is less. We're around 441, 442.
Oh, that's
before the
fucking
number.
hilarious.
If you look at what's
That's
going on
really
with
good.
the yield curve, we see that the short rates are virtually unchanged. Long rates are
Gulp.
moving down a little more aggressively, and that would make sense if the inflation data is less than the worst case scenario, the long end reflecting that. And, of course, we want to pay very close attention to the yield curve at this point because it really has been.
Give it to us,
about
Rick.
Whether it's steepening or flattening, a lot has to do with the short maturities and how they relate to the Fed. Obviously, we're not going to get a July rate cut, at least deemed by market activity and most economists and analysts. So we want to watch the complexion of the curve. I would say that use 50 basis points as your guide on the difference between 10s and
Dollar
2s.
dropping,
Becky,
Bitcoin
back to
picking
you.
up a bit, gold dropping a
If we
little
were to
bit.
summarize, people
Small
have been
cap
waiting,
sector
waiting,
popping.
waiting for tariff inflation and
Semis looking good.
it doesn't really.
Financials
I don't think
taking a little bit of a hit
The
now.
jury's still out. You can't say it's here.
JP
you can't
Morgan's
say it's
actually
not
went
here.
from
It's a little bit
beating
warmer,
to now
but
down
not the
slightly.
worst case scenario that a lot of people
Huh,
were
that reversed.
predicting by now. Is that about right?
No, that explains it. That, to me, the best way to look at this is inflation is going to ebb and flow. If we want to really isolate it in terms of what this administration's doing or Liberation
Bonds
Day,
are up,
I would benchmark
yields
it to
down.
the beginning of the year. January and February reads being warmer gives you a lot of information that some of the policies have not been detrimental in boosting inflation. Now, they're up just a bit, but some of that could also be associated with better economic data. You know, the death of the labor market has been greatly exaggerated based on recent data, and I think that all in all, the inflation numbers they're pretty respectable here. I still think that the real issue, if you take a step back, is can we actually get to the 2% target? And I think that argument really is outside the administration's policies. I think we've been stuck in this kind of last mile sticky inflation for quite a while, Joe.
Rick, thank you very much.
Give it to us,
we'll see you
Rick.
again soon. Ken Langone is here with us. Ken, what do you think about the numbers? 0.3% in line, but a little hotter than we've been.
Who is Ken Langone?
About, I don't think. Look, I think this confirms how I feel about what's going
Fucking
on.
father
out
time here.
there. Activity is picking up. And of course, it reflects itself, obviously, in higher prices. The senator talked about China. The one thing he didn't mention, which to me is as important as anything else, their disregard for our intellectual property laws. We got to fix that. We can't afford to have them cavalierly knock off things that we invent here that they then
You can tell he's like about to pop off with a racist comment.
Interesting.
Like he wants to, but
Everybody
he's like
thinks
too
China's
refined,
actually
so he like
labor.
says it in subtle ways.
China employs more robots in their industrial activities, you ready, than the entire rest of the world put together.
Like he's right there.
That's where they've got the edge, in my opinion, technology. But back to the intellectual property laws, we've got to figure a way out for them to understand that we can't allow them to be cavalier about what's invented where and what their rights are and what their obligations are.
So that's the one thing you'd like them to stick with, no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, think of the development
Who
of
is
America
this dude?
as an economy over 200 years. Thank God we had the patent laws. Because so much of what's
God, the
happened.
world had no one earned anything.
That's the whole
back
point.
then.
And
Unless
now,
you were rich.
well, now you think about all of the things that come about because creativity.
Yeah.
And they
But
should
you
be
gotta able to
rewarded.
patent- You got to be able to patent it and own it. Yeah.
Well, I have an axe to grind.
Property rights.
I took on
Change the world. Yeah.
I took on the challenge of challenging the patent office for pumps, patents on the optically pumped and gas discharge lasers. It took us 9 years and $20 million, but we won, and it became a bonanza for us. It turned out to be a great thing. But thank God for these creative people in the world that do these things, that create these things. Their mind.
What is this clip? What's going on right now?
Respected.
Someone needs to
rewarded,
explain to
and
me
protected.
why we cut off of Rick
Ken
for this guy.
Langone is our guest host this morning. He'll be with us for the rest of the show. He'll be joining us again right after this break. We're going to talk New York City, the economy, and much more.
All right. That is our cue to stop listening and get into what in the world's actually happening in the market right now. So, SPY, if we were to open now, basically we'd be at a new all-time high. This is not uploading for some reason, whatever. I don't know what the XPX equivalent is. It's right around 6,300. But as you can see, right here, we are above the all-time high on SPY, which is 626.87. Granted, we're not above it by much, but if we were to open right now, SPY would be at a new all-time high. On the NASDAQ, are we technically? Oh, yeah. The NASDAQ is clearly at a new all-time high. We clocked in at 557.63. We're pushing 560 this morning. So the NASDAQ definitely pushing a new all-time high. The SPY looking pretty good as well. Looking like, granted, I don't know, it's about 20 cents above, but as of now, the bulls are in control. Bitcoin faltering a little bit after its new all-time high. If anything, I'm just waiting for it to put in some sort of bottom, pop off of that, and then I'll be playing it again. A major reason of why we're seeing so much aggression on the bull side right now is because of very good news related to Nvidia. Obviously, I'll be coming back to that, but Nvidia, the world's biggest company, the stock that just has been ripping ever since late April, becomes that much bigger. It's clearly going to clear $4 trillion in market cap value. Semiconductors are crushing it. Avago is up there, most likely going to be hitting a new all-time high today, about 70 cents off. ASML, not hitting a new all-time high, but getting a nice technical breakout. AMD as well, looking real good. Not a new all-time high, but a nice technical breakout. AMD is actually up 5% in pre-market trading. Tesla Not necessarily a semiconductor play, but getting a nice bounce out of that 300 back into the consolidation zone. Dave Portnoy crushing that. He put 10 mil into it when it was sub 300, and he's already up pretty strongly on it. Palantir hit a new all-time high yesterday, taking a small breather this morning, but I would not be surprised if we see follow through to a new record high today. Meta, I'm waiting for this trend line breakout. We do have some news on it, and it actually comes back to the AI semiconductor world, but I'm just waiting for this technical breakout. Overall, very bullish, consolidating a little bit right now. I'm just waiting for that nice follow through. Netflix, I did a new position on Netflix yesterday. Everyone in the Discord knows it. Really, not only am I playing the technical setup, the momentum setup, I'm seeing some interesting developments in the world of options. To be fair, it could be a bit stronger, but really what I'm looking to do is just see if it can really crush it on its earnings after market closes on Thursday. So NFLX reporting its earnings after the market closes this Thursday. What else do we have going on? Microsoft, world's second biggest company, basically just hanging out at its pretty much close to its all-time high of 507, currently trading at 502. Apple used to be the world's biggest company and really has just faltered. Obviously, a lot of the trade stuff and where they're making their iPhones and whatnot, not the best positioning. So they've gone from the biggest company in the world to the third biggest company, and they've just been kind of doing absolutely nothing. MicroStrategy, obviously very correlated with Bitcoin. Same with Coinbase, but Coin making look at this recovery ever since its IPO back in, what was this, April of 21. It's almost back to that level. The comeback of a lifetime, going from 430 down to 35, back up to 400. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So as you can see, lots of things to chit chat about this morning. Let's go back to the minute view. The SPY currently hanging out at its all-time high. Folks, we were talking about new record levels this morning, and I would say the two driving narratives as of right now, or the three driving narratives, is the start of earnings season. We're going to look into the financial plays, the big announcement in the world of semiconductors, and also the inflation report that just came out. Are they bringing Rick back on? Folks, if they bring Rick back on to further discuss what's going on, please let me know. Please shout at me. We always need to know what Rick's up to, and I'm a little bit bummed out that they only gave him like 30 seconds of screen time today to like switch it up to, I guess, father time. So please in chat, like, yell at me if he starts talking. Matt trades stocks like a rat. What the fuck does that mean? Matt trades stocks like a rat. What? Please explain what in the world, because that possibly mean. I live in New York City. I've been around many rats, and not one time have I seen a rat actively trading stocks. At this point, I'm just trying to figure out what that could possibly mean. Happy belated. That's so kind of you. That's so incredibly kind. All right, stock futures rise led by Nvidia and JP Morgan. JP Morgan is actually slightly down now. It didn't hold its pop. All right, so the first big piece of news this morning at 8:30, we got the inflation report. Kohrs CPI month over month came in slightly less than expected. Year over year, some people are saying it's in line. Other forecasts had it at 2.6. So some people are saying it's a little hot. Others are saying it's at expectations. So some are saying this number should have been 2.7 and it came in at 2.7. Whatever it is, the market is holding. So they're not thinking that this, I guess, the forecast at 2.6 was really that important of one. I do want to let you know we have another inflation report tomorrow, the PPI, but circling back to the CPI today, relative to what we got last month, things are ticking up. So last CPI reading, it was 2.4. This just came in at 2.7. So we're 0.3% higher. This is arguably, we're starting to feel the impacts of this trade war, tariffs, whatever you want to call it. But this is the first month that we're getting a clear reading, and this was not like, this was predicted. This wasn't some sort of big PhD economic call out from some of the smartest people in the world. This was something that was like very well telegraphed that this was going to be the month. Well, technically it was last month, but this July reading from June is going to be the first month that we started to really feel it, and you're seeing it in the numbers. So remember, the fact that these are all positive, folks, this still means life is getting more expensive. Life is clearly getting more expensive. it's our dollar is continually getting devalued. This idea that inflation has gone away, it is arguably wrong. These numbers show you the increase of life around you. It shows you the decrease of your dollar. We're just not going at the same rate that we used to be. But month over month, your money is becoming less valuable. All of that time you put in to generate whatever income from work, it's becoming worth less and less and less every single month. So this rhetoric that there is no inflation whatsoever, what are you talking about, dude? We're literally getting the numbers, the month over month, the year over year, slowly but surely, life is still getting more expensive. It's not increasing at the rate of how expensive it was as like it was, 2 summers ago. That was like an absurd peak, but we're still driving in the car in the wrong direction. We're just driving at less of a speed in the wrong direction, if that makes sense. So this is obviously going to be taken into consideration in the next FOMC meeting, which is going to be at the end of the month, July 30th. And as of right now, there is a 97.4% chance that we stay at 4.25%. The current Fed fund rate is 4.25%, 97% chance that we stay at 4.25. The only chance we would have really gotten a cut in the July meeting is if this reading came in probably 0.2 less than expected, or maybe even more. But the chance of them being off by that much is slim to none. So it's not going to happen. We're not getting a Fed rate cut here. It's not going to happen. I get that. There is a narrative currently being produced by the Trump administration that there is no inflation and Powell should be cutting rates. And it's like, it's just not accurate. If you want to come up with an argument of why Powell should be cutting rates, you would have to do a different argument than there is no inflation, because there clearly is inflation. So like, you might believe that he should be cutting rates, but you'd have to come up with a more compelling argument than, oh, inflation is non-existent because I'm showing you inflation. Like, we just got the reading of inflation. Year over year, we're at 2.7. Month over month, we're up 0.3. Life is more expensive. So you might believe that he should be cutting rates, but your argument would not hinge on inflation being non-existent, because that's not accurate. Inflation is existent, and that's just how this works. Like, we have a forever expanding credit economy, and this only works by the dollar continually getting devalued and devalued and devalued. So our purchasing power is going less and less and less of a distance. And that's exactly why you're seeing things such as gold and Bitcoin hitting all-time highs, because people are starting to say, oh man, I should probably like have a store of value. There's always inflation. When he says no inflation, he means the accepted 2%. No, he's literally saying there's no inflation. You're now making assumptions off what he's saying, but you're not in his head. There's various quotes from him of saying there's literally no inflation. That's a weird jump for you to make. Be like, no, actually, this is what he means. And even that, the argument of 2%, we're above 2%. So even if you are in the mind of the president and you're like, no, when he says no inflation, actually, that just means that there's 2%. We're clocking in higher than 2%. We're still above what rate we should be at. So anyway, this is all the information that came out today. Yes, we got the consumer price index this morning. We're getting the producer price index tomorrow. That is important, as seemingly less of an impact of the CPI. Still important. I would say pay attention to it. And then retail sales is going to be on Thursday. And don't forget, tomorrow, Wednesday, that's going to be volatility expiration. And then on Friday, July 18th, that's going to be options expiration. And we are at the monthly expiration. So pretty much every day of this week is important. I would argue that yesterday, the 14th, was like the least impactful day of the week. And pretty much every single day from here on out, from here to the remainder of the week, we have something going on that like can legitimately impact the market. Now, if you were like me at one point last night, let's say around 21:30 o'clock, you started getting a lot of random announcements and alerts on your phone. And it was because of a massively important announcement related to the world of semiconductors, specifically Nvidia. Nvidia wins okay to sell AI chip to China again after CEO meets Trump. Yuan case proves persuasive as U.S. agrees to grant licenses for H20 chips. So for the longest time, starting in the Biden administration, there were export curbs and controls related to chips, specifically Nvidia selling to China. And at the most basic business level, that means less revenue for Nvidia. I don't think that's much of a really a hard thing to grasp. If you're not allowed to sell to a certain amount of people, it's gonna hurt your revenue. Well, now they're getting some clarity, and as you can see, the market, especially the tech sector, absolutely loving it, just exploding to new highs, quickly faltered and then recovered, and right now we're hitting fresh highs, dingity ding 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 once again. Obviously here I could bring up Nvidia for you just to show you specifically what's going on, but the time that was announced, it's not captured in this post to pre-market trading, but you can see what's happening in pre-market here when really the equities market technically started showing some pre-market prints around 4 a.m. Obviously, we closed at 164. It's opening up at 172, which I find to be absolutely crazy. Not only is this a crazy gap up of what percent, of 4.7%, but these motherfuckers are getting so crazy, they're skipping over massive gamma areas. Let me show you what's going on here. Nvidia right here. The second one. The biggest positive gamma is at 170. We were here at 164. These guys got so crazy, they skipped over it. They went Hulk mode and jumped an entire mountaintop. Now, to those of you who maybe don't get as nerdy into the second order derivatives of the options market as I do, you're probably not going to appreciate how insane of a move it is, but it is absolutely insane. We were on the left side of the gamma mountain. We are now going to open up on the right side of the gamma mountain. We are skipping this peak as if it were nothing. That is absolutely insane. This is a hugely, hugely pivotal move that is being received absurdly well by the market. And to put that another way, let me show you this. The people who sold these calls, that's a bunch of sold calls at 170, as in they were basically saying, hey, Nvidia is not going to clear 170. They just got torched. They got murked. They got curb stomped. All of these calls that were sold at 170, which, I mean, my mouse is on it. That's a huge chunk. It's the major gamma play. It is the major gamma and delta influence of really the option structure right now for Nvidia. And they got absolutely clapped. Absolutely clapped. So the fact that we are, I mean, we'll see if it can hold, but it's not even like we're necessarily close to it. We're $2 ahead. It's going to be an interesting day for Nvidia, but the TLDR is the market is loving this, which is bringing the Nasdaq to new all-time highs, but then also the semiconductor ETF, SMH, going up about 2% because it wasn't just Nvidia. Obviously, Nvidia's up 4.7%, Avago's up 1.5%, ASML's up 1.8%, and then AMD is up how much? That's up 5.3 because there's also good news for AMD as well. But very quickly before I get to that, I just want to cover up specifically the rest of this Nvidia news. Nvidia resumed the H20 AI chip sales to China in US reversal. Dude, literally the thing sending us to new all-time highs.
What more do we know about this Nvidia announcement and what it tells us about the Trump administration's thinking on export controls?
Well, I think it's interesting that it was Nvidia who announced this, not the White House. I'll get to that and what that means in a little bit. But essentially, this is a great victory for CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, who, by the way, is in Beijing right now, just appeared on state television. And we learned of this development on the H20 chip through a blog post from Nvidia, essentially saying that they've been given tacit approval by the White House to apply for those export licenses for the H20 chips to be sold to China, and he expects, Jensen Huang and Nvidia all expect that those license applications to be approved and the H20 chips can resume being sold to China. Jensen Huang has been an outspoken critic of these export controls from the United States, saying they haven't worked, and also they've given competitors in China like Huawei an unfair advantage. In fact, Nvidia projected they could lose about $8 billion in sales in this current quarter just because of those export controls. They'd also been working on a new chip based on Blackwell architecture to comply with those Trump trade curbs. But now, if the H20 is going to resume sales to China, it would be an interesting development, obviously, and a very fortuitous one for Nvidia to have two potential chips. Yes, they're scaled back from the most advanced AI chips from Nvidia, but still, having chips that are compliant with U.S. export controls allowed to go into China is a big development, not only for Nvidia, but for U.S.-China relations, no doubt.
Well, on that point, Stephen, what is your assessment of what this tells us about those
Cheerio, pip pip.
conversations, the trade tensions that we know
absolutely
exist between the two
knackered
sides
last
that on
night.
some level have eased to some extent? What does this reflect when it comes to those trade negotiations?
Well, it tells us a lot about what Jensen Huang and Donald Trump spoke about in the White House last week, and also why Jensen Huang is in Beijing right now with meetings with the Commerce Minister as well as their trade negotiator, He Lifeng. So obviously he's the one that has lobbied the White House, gaining that approval for the export licenses, and he's the one to take that message essentially to China. What it tells me about the backroom bargaining in the trade deal and the trade truce that was reaffirmed in London is that the United States clearly wants China to speed up its export licensing process for rare earth minerals as well as rare earth magnets. And what does China want? They want a relaxation of those tight export controls on advanced chips. It seems as though this was win-win for the two countries as they try and bridge their differences. And this was maybe for Donald Trump, as he met with Jensen Huang, a little bit of a low-hanging fruit and was convinced that they're doing the United States tech companies' competitive advantage more harm than good.
Well, the market tends to agree because we are seeing massive gains, but on a positive note, when it rains, it pours. And I'm saying in this case, let's say you're in a desert and you're really hoping for rain. So it's a good thing you're getting rain. So in this situation, when it rains, it pours. I'm talking about when things get good, they're getting even better. AMD will restart shipping its MI308 chips to China after it gets license approval. So AMD, the third biggest semiconductor play, goes Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD, now also up 5% in pre-market trading. So no matter where you look, semiconductors are crushing it. Obviously, Nvidia, Broadcom, and AMD are the individual tickers that a lot of people are excited about. But remember, if you want to track the entire just sector, you can look at SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF. And this is just crazy. From the April low until now, it is up 68%. That is incredible. And then if you are a super degenerate and you want to play in a leverage fashion, you can look at Soxel, which is the 3x leverage, the 3 times. So do whatever you want. I'm not your mom. I just want to let you know that that's some easy ways to track the overall sector, or really you don't have to look that much farther past the entire NASDAQ, which is up 0.7% at a new all-time high. That is crazy. And when it rains, it pours, and then sometimes it even monsoons. Google to invest $25 billion in data centers and AI infrastructure across the largest U.S. electric grid. Google will spend $25 billion on data centers and AI infrastructure in the PJM electric grid region over the next 2 years. PJM is the biggest electric grid in the nation, covering 13 states across the Mid-Atlantic and parts of the Midwest and South. Google also signed a framework agreement to purchase hydroelectric power from Brookfield Asset Management. So I'm bringing this up because we have a top 10 company, a major tech player, once again getting more into the world of AI and data centers. Guess who else is doing that? Meta's Zuckerberg pledges hundreds of billions for AI data centers in superintelligence push. All right, we got this announcement yesterday. Obviously, people very excited about it, myself included. Meta building several multi-gigawatt AI data centers. Company has formed superintelligence labs to unify AI efforts. CEO Zuckerberg has been leading a talent war of four top engineers, paying people $100, $200, $300 million. One of Meta's AI superclusters will rival Manhattan in size. What? It will be the size of Manhattan? This is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. What did he? I actually didn't listen to this clip, so let's see what he had to say.
Mark Zuckerberg is placing a very big bet on AI. The Meta Platforms boss said Monday that the firm would spend hundreds of billions of dollars building several massive data centers. They're meant to drive Meta's bid to win the race for so-called superintelligence. That's AI that exceeds human capabilities. Zuckerberg says the first of the new mega data centers, dubbed Prometheus, is set to come online next year.
Yes.
He touted the strength of the company's core advertising business to justify the spending. Meta last month reorganized its AI efforts under a division called Superintelligence Labs. That followed setbacks for its Llama 4 model and the departure of key staff. The firm is betting the new unit will generate revenue from products like smart glasses and new advertising tools. It has also been recruiting aggressively to staff the new outfit. However, one analyst said Zuckerberg's AI investment plan is really a long-term bet, not one that will generate major income anytime soon.
Why does that guy...
Could this be the...
Why does the voiceover guy seem so excited about life? Like, why does he just seem like so happy, dude? It was like the most depressive thing that we've heard in a minute. Anyway, you get the point. Nvidia's up, AMD's up, SMCI, Marvel, like the whole semiconductor sphere is absolutely ripping. So if you got a piece of it, massive congrats to you. But don't forget, we're also in earnings season. So early today, JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, we're hitting it off with all the financial players. Tomorrow, we're actually going to get some of the insights into what is going on with semiconductors. ASML. Remember, ASML is the company that's a little bit upstream. They create the high-end machinery that is then used by companies such as TSMC, reporting on Thursday. They create the machinery for TSMC to actually fabricate the chips, and then the designs will come from the likes of Nvidia. So that's a little bit of like just the entire process. But ASML creates very specialized, very high-end machinery that then is used by the fabrication companies to execute upon the design. So we're actually going to hear from, from a reporting sense, we're going to start to hear from AI-related companies, semiconductor-related companies starting tomorrow. So definitely pay attention to that. Of course, we still have additional financial players, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Johnson & Johnson, Morgan Stanley, PNC. If you're paying attention to what's going on with the world of the big metal birds in the sky, you could listen to United. Thursday, obviously TSMC, that's going to be another important one, a fabricator. And then Netflix, just another major tech play that is not that far away from its all-time high. And then getting into Friday, we have a little bit more of, I guess, a continuation of financial plays. American Express, Charles Schwab, Ally, SLB, Energy Company. So feel free to screenshot this, feel free to write them down, or just go to @eWhispers on Twitter. But diving into some of the ones from this morning, JP Morgan Chase tops estimates on stronger than expected trading and investment banking. And then Wells Fargo, they beat on EPS and they also beat on revenue. And then looking at BlackRock, also beating on EPS and then also beating on revenue. So there must be something else a little bit going on here, because even though BlackRock, well, not even just BlackRock, but the whole sector, XLF is what you could check out. This is the ETF for the financial sector. You could see when they started to report this morning, things were looking pretty good. But since then, faltering a little bit. So JP Morgan, people at first liked the earnings, but then I guess as they dove into the numbers a little bit more, and it's not gigantically down, it's down 0.3%. But my point is the initial reaction was positive, and it's giving a little bit of that back. How is Citi? Citi's actually holding green. Wells Fargo is getting hit. So a little bit of a mixed bag here. JP Morgan, not really changed. Citi's up. Wells Fargo is down. BlackRock is down by 1.6%. So I guess we're getting a mixed bag in the world of financials that went from leaning bullish to now it's leaning slightly bearish. So that might be interesting to see how it plays out. But obviously tomorrow, Bank of America, BAC, that's going to be one worthwhile to pay attention to. Morgan Stanley, MS, that's going to be another one. And then PNC is going to be probably the final major, or actually Goldman Sachs as well. You might want to be paying attention to that. So I don't know, I feel like financial plays are not really the most exciting ones. I'm not seeing that much chat about I'm in JP, like that type of stuff. The last time we seemed to care about it was when banks were blowing up and we're all, what was it, KRE? Everyone was paying attention to the regional banking sector, and we all of a sudden started paying attention to banks that were going to be insolvent or not with the whole bond craziness. But ever since then, It doesn't feel like it's the most popular. It feels like you guys care a lot more about tech stocks, crypto stocks, kind of like the high flying ones. Speaking of high flying, sorry, my brain is all over the place, but Oklo is still going. Jesus, Oklo's having a good one. All right, we can circle back to that, but before I get too distracted, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter, MattKohrs.locals.com. It is in the description of the video. My mom will put it in chat. This is 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. Every Sunday around 10 a.m. or basically whenever I get to it, you get this email to your inbox. I break down what's going on in the market, a little cheat sheet of all the earnings, and then I give you the ones that I think you're really going to care about. A little cheat sheet also for the major macroeconomic events. Today, we already got the CPI report. At 2 p.m., we're going to get the Fed Beige Book, which is more of a qualitative outlook at the economy rather than quantitative. And then, obviously, the stuff for the remainder of the week. And then I also give you the seasonality for each trading day. Today, from a seasonality standpoint, is not that special. For really the better part of 3 decades, this day was nothing. A little up, a little down, a little up, a little down, a little up, a little down. But then over the past 3 years, there was some mega winning days. So for most history on this individual day, today was seasonally kind of nothing. But in recent history, the bulls have started to dominate on this day. So would I say this is the end all be all? No, but obviously something to consider. Tomorrow actually favors the bears a little bit more. Then you get to Thursday, it's a bit more neutral. And then we return to our bullish seasonality when we get here on Friday. So this is probably the most useful day-to-day thing of the newsletter, of just the seasonality for the S&P 500, specifically on the futures market on the last 27 years worth of data. So most of these days are going to end up not being that special, but once in a while you find days that are very statistically impactful, and it can really help how you frame the day. At least that's how I use it, but you could use it however you want. Like I said, 100% free. All right, let me get back to where we should be here on the daily. All right, cool, we have that. How are things holding? Okay, they are holding. Yeah, Bitcoin's actually starting to pick up as well too, after taking a little bit of a breather, finding a base here at these recent lows. This might be that time for me to refire. I had that perfect exit right at market open yesterday, maybe 30 minutes into the day. I got out of those BITX calls, locked in $50,000. Super stoked about that trade. I told you guys that I wanted to roll up and out. I just wanted to wait for that perfect opportunity, and it looks like I damn near top ticked it. The one I didn't top tick is I had Nvidia calls that I got out halfway through the day on Friday, maybe at market close on Friday. Obviously, yesterday would have been a little bit more painful, but I obviously could not have predicted this gap up. So I'm a little bit bummed out the fact that I just got unlucky with Nvidia. It was just a little bit too close in time. But I do have Soxal calls still. So the fact that we are gapping up almost 6% on Soxal, I'm not completely missing out on the moon. So I can't cry over spilled milk on that one. What else do I currently have? I currently have SPY calls. I currently have Q calls. I currently have Soxal calls. What's my other? I thought I had one more. Oh, I also have Netflix calls as well. In terms of the exact details of the strikes and the expiration date and the reasoning for behind it, that's all in the Discord. If you want, join up with the Goonie Trading Discord. The first month is free anyway if you use that code Goonie. So you could get access to basically every single thing I do for free for a month to see if it's for you. No harm, no foul. If you like it, great, stick around. If not, if it's not really exactly for you, well, just make sure to cancel your account, and then you're gonna not get charged anything. I get that I'm not exactly everyone's cup of tea, so that's why I don't want really anyone to feel that they got cheated in that first month, which is 100% why it is free. All right, let me get this a little bit better set up, and then I want to get into the key levels, and then I'm going to turn it over to you guys for any questions and whatnot. All right, so Bitcoin is definitely starting to pick up. I should definitely have Nvidia up. What else do you guys want up? What's having a nice move? I know Nvidia is moving, so is the AMD, but that's pretty much the same play. What else do you guys want here for market open? Avago's looking good. Tesla's actually also looking pretty decent. Palantir, a little bit of a hit after a new all-time high. Meta, I would want to see that above 730. Netflix, it's break even. I want that to keep going. Microsoft slightly down. Apple slightly up. You know what? Let's just put up AMD because it's another high flyer of the day. So, hey, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you that semiconductors are absolutely crushing right now. absolutely crushing right now. Obviously, with respect to momentum, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all very bullish. Let me set up these alerts. So we have the medium time frame, the 4-hour major breakouts and breakdowns. Unfortunately, these are probably going to keep going up off today because we're just so close to these breakout and breakdowns. And the final thing I need to do is over here, 10-minute. All right. We have tons of time today. Okay, this is, I kind of like these days because then that can now allow us to have a bit of a further discussion. So the first thing I need to do is let you guys know roughly where we are opening up at. Let me go to the 1 minute here. What is the SPX equivalent right now? We have to be around, around 6,300. So roughly, if we were to open right now, kind of all the way up here. We're slightly gapping above the recent all-time high of 6,290, so roughly in this region. So here's what I'm seeing on the day. And I know it's a little bit scrunched, but it's just because of the gap up that we're having. But here's what you need to know. Yesterday's high, low, and close are always going to be marked off. The green, the red, and the white. That is the previous trading session's high, low, close. The white block is the transition zone, as in above it's bullish, below it's bearish, and the transition zone itself is really the 0 DTE transition of the gamma and the delta reading. Gives us an idea of how market makers are going to react, because don't forget that options are a single dealer market. Theoretically, when you're trading equities, you could be trading against market makers, hedge funds, other retail traders, blah, 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 blah. But 99% of the time when you're trading options, you're only trading against market makers. That's the difference between multi-dealer markets and single dealer markets. If you are trading options, you're playing against the house. If you're trading equities, you might be playing against the house, but you also might be playing against other players. So it's just a little bit of a different market structure. But because of that, when we contract the open interest and we know it's a single dealer market, that allows us to surmise certain things such as these transition zones. And then the final thing I want to point out to you, well, the two final things is this green dash line. I don't normally have that up, but I do when we're near all-time highs. And obviously, we're going to be gapping up above that today. But that happens to be in alignment with major open interest levels, which are these yellow horizontal lines. This is where there's a lot of players, whether on a 0 DTE basis or maybe even since we're in a weekly or monthly option, a monthly OPEX this week. I also marked out some of those. So obviously a lot of these end up also aligning with the key technical levels, but blah, 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 blah. You get the point. So these are the key levels I'm paying attention to. So feel free to write them down. Feel free to use them. Feel free to not use them. I'm just telling you this is exactly where I'll be looking for the market to have outsized reactions, just because there's a lot of players there. So we're at the key technical psychological level of not only the new all-time high, but 6,300. The first upside target I'll be looking for today is 6,325, and then I'll be looking for the run if we get there. And this is a giant if, because that's going to be quite the move. I'd be looking for the run to end somewhere in this 10-point region. Now, on the flip side, if we get rejected out of the gate or at any of these key levels, obviously I'd be looking for support at the downside gap fill of the all-time high of 6,290. We have a different actual true downside gap fill to 6,268. That is the high from yesterday's trading session. We also happen to have alignment with the key open interest level at 6,275. So basically any of these levels, I could see the market catching itself. Any of these levels, I can see the market getting rejected. All I can tell you is these are key levels where I have alerts set, and then when we hit those, I'll be looking for the market's reaction. Does the market in aggregate agree that we should be there and keep going above, or does the market think, nope, okay, that's enough, and that's not the fair equilibrium? So all I can tell you is this is what I'm personally looking at. If you want to use them, use them. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. I am not your mom. Overall, we are looking strong. On SPX, we're going to be gapping up to a new all-time high. On NDX, we're going to be gapping up to a new all-time high. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a recovery after a one-day falter. I'm not necessarily going to take my shot at it quite yet. I just want to give it a little bit of time to breathe. You have the Russell, not an all-time high, but obviously a little bit of a technical follow-through. So even the small cap is starting to look good. Bonds are showing a little bit of life as yields are coming down a bit. Looking at the dollar, showing a bit of strength. When the reports first came out this morning, the dollar did take a hit. Looking at gold, pretty much just going sideways, but not that far off from an all-time high. But you could argue ever since mid-April, this is just consolidation. lower highs, higher lows, but just kind of consolidating right below its all-time high in late April of this year. Volatility, VIX continues just to get destroyed. This is why everyone has that concept of whenever the VIX pops, just short it. It just seems to be a really good trade until it's not. So that's pretty much your skinny on the situation. The bulls are in control. People are very, very stoked about the announcements related to Nvidia and AMD basically able to restart their selling of chips to China in one capacity or the other. This is just making it so the world's biggest companies are becoming that much bigger, that much more powerful. And obviously, maybe it is a bubble, maybe it isn't, but all I can tell you is the AI trade is alive and well. When the market gets going, obviously I will be showing you the options flow on really whatever you want, but generally I look at the Mag 7 and the S&P 500, but obviously we could check out individual equities as well. We're going to be looking at just the positioning. I can tell you that there's a giant positive gamma node at 6,350. So if you were to be a 0 DTE player and you get lucky enough to play it up to there, I personally on a 0 DTE basis would not be greedy past that point. That's going to be very sticky price action. There happens to also be a little bit of a positive gamma node at 6,270, and then there's another one all the way down here at 6,150, even though I highly doubt we are going to be chit-chatting about that today. I should also let you know, into close yesterday, the larger players, institutions, were net buyers starting around 1 p.m. They started buying. So maybe they knew something. Maybe they, oh, wait, you guys can't see it. My apologies. Right here, 1 p.m. You can see this uptick. That just means the larger players were definitely buying into close yesterday. From 1 to 3, you had 2 hours of the big players buying. On that note, I should show to you, I technically did make trades today. I made trades on my eval accounts in Take Profit Trader, TPT, but that's just because I already hit my profit target, so I just needed to get another trade in. So as you can see, I just did a little bit of a scalp trade, just one tick in my favor to get those done. But other than that, I have not traded anything today. Here's my Tradeify account, up about 1K. I have all my Apex accounts up about 2.9K. And then I have my fresh past Take Profit Trader accounts, and they're both up about 1K. So things are looking good. Obviously, we're hoping we can make some money today. We're seeing what in the world is going on. But technically, I did trade, but that was just a little scalp trade. So haven't really touched anything there. Obviously, the Discord knows all about my options positions, and the TLDR of what in the world is going on are the bulls are fully in control. We're looking at new all-time highs today, and the question is just going to be, how long does this trend really last? How long can we keep pushing? This might be the week of things turning, just because it is the monthly OPEX this week. This Friday is the July monthly expiration. That's a big deal because you're going to have a lot of positive gamma leave the system. And remember that positive gamma beneath spot price is very supportive. It's part of the reason why every single time we dip, it's just quickly bought, because we are dipping into positive gamma. And obviously market participants and market makers just continue to buy in that positive gamma zone. And right now we have a lot of positive gamma. So with that in mind, just you should remember the fact that is going to be leaving the system this Friday. So the way price is behaving this week is functionally going to be very different than next week. At this moment in time, I do not have a bullish or bearish prediction for next week because I need to see how the options market reestablishes itself. But I just want to let you know that the week after OPEX tends to be a little bit of a spicy one, just because it's a whole new role. It's a whole new positioning. So just be careful. You should not treat every trading week the same, because functionally, based on the rise of options trading and the impact of all these market makers positions, and especially the popularity of things such as 0 DTs, every week is different. And a lot of it has to do with the proximity to the monthly OPEX. And then that's even more important if it's also a quarterly OPEX. So this week, I find to be the best week to trade. And then I actually find the week right after to be the worst week to trade. And then the other 2 weeks of the month, depending on what's going on, they might be good or bad. But this week, the week of monthly OPEX, are generally the weeks that I get most excited for, because I find that they present the most opportunity. What is this guy going on about rat trading? Why do you keep saying that? Did you ever define what you mean by that? Like, I don't know if you're saying it in jest, or I don't know if you're trying to like be mean. Like, I don't get what's going on. Like, you're just kind of murmuring the same thing over and over and over again. Nvidia hits 200 before August. It's possible. I don't know. Remember, as a retail trader, if you're trying to predict that type of stuff, you're already miles behind. Prediction is useful in the world of investing, not in active trading. Active trading is won by people who react. You react to optimal risk to reward setups. You respect your trading system, and you move on. Max profit with minimal risk, banging your head against the wall. Wait, isn't that good? Max profit with minimal risk? Isn't that what we should all be doing? Rat trading says the one named after a fish. This is really getting into the world of the animal kingdom, you know? And I'm not sure how comfortable I feel about that. Hey, hi, Matt. Don't forget to call your mom today. Oh, thank you for the reminder. I'll definitely be calling my mom today. All right, folks, there are 10 minutes left until the world's largest casino allows us degenerates in. So this is the perfect time for your questions. If you have questions about Spot Gamma, who is one of the sponsors of today's stream, 80% off. This tool that I use to track options, you can get 80% off the first month. My mod will drop the link in chat, but it's also in the description of the video. And the other sponsor of today's stream is Tradeify. This is the final day. It ends today at midnight. Use that code Goonie on your first time. You're going to get 50% off. After that, you're going to get 35% off. That ends today. So Tradeify, it's another SIM-funded one. I would say that there's pros and cons, as there is with all of these. But the pro to this one is you're allowed to do straight SIMDA funded. So you don't even have to take the eval. And if you're going to have a little bit of a sticker shock when you look at the pricing, but then don't forget you could get 50% off on your very first one and 35% after that. So that's the positive. But the negative, in my opinion, on Tradeify is the daily loss limit. So the way I circumvent that is by going for the bigger accounts when I'm trading on Tradeify, because then basically I treat my daily loss limit as my normal full loss on the other accounts. So pros and cons, they all have their own little nuances. But regardless, if you're interested in Tradeify for this fat 50% discount, it ends today. You have till midnight today. So I just wanted to let you know. And then obviously the Spot Gamma deal isn't going to go anywhere, but I'm going to let you know with Spot Gamma, we are the only community on God's green earth that they offer this deal to. They like you guys like them. We're the main retail community they work with. And I think it's just they like how degenerate we definitely are. So if you want to track options flow or any of the other stuff I use with Spot Gamma, like I said, 80% off. And then if you want to take advantage of this Tradeify deal, it will be ending tonight at midnight. So don't miss out on that. Now, with all that being said, hit me with your questions. We have about 8 minutes to go, and this is a perfect time for a little bit of Q&A. What's on your minds? Do you have questions about options, SIMDA funded, Greeks? Do you have, I don't know, the Discord? Hey, Matt, my question is, how do you get such a perfection in your hairline? Oh, I do probably 4 to 7 hours of hairline or hair care treatment per day. Yeah, it's just like if there's things you want in life, you have to be borderline obsessed with it. But I have roughly a 4 to 7 hour hair routine that I need to do, sometimes 1 to 2 times a day. Did you miss entry on Tesla? No, my swing bot did not fire, so I did not take the trade. What's your opinion on rats, dude? I've seen some monster rats here in New York. Like, unless you're in New York City, I don't think you appreciate how large and kind of crazy rats can get. And it's sizable, team. They get big. I've seen some big boys. If you're kind of out drunk late one night and then like you're catching a train at like midnight, 1 a.m, you kind of just look at the track beneath you, and then all of a sudden, like when you kind of like are just like out of it, you just start to see it move, and then you realize it's just like little rats running across the tracks, and then you keep looking, and then every so often you see this like Goliath of a rat, and you don't even know if it's like the same species. Are you still invested in rum? Yes. Yes. Oh, Matt, how's the flooding there? Dude, the pictures, I wasn't impacted by it yesterday, but I mean, I saw the streets this morning, dude. The flooding yesterday was bad. We got hit with it was not that big in length, but a pretty absurd storm system yesterday. And the flooding in New York and New Jersey was brutal. They just did not have it. Do you have a video on Vanquish Trader? I don't, but if you need me to make one specifically, I mean, it's just options trading, but is there like an aspect of it, Pat, that you need? I feel pretty real. Well, Tom from MySpace, you're everyone's friend. Have you left any fish in the sea of OSRS, or should I pivot to cutting oak logs now? No, I'm cornering the market on catching all shrimp in OSRS. By the time I get done with it, there's going to be no more shrimp in the sea. They're all going to be in my bank account. You always talk about premium selling, but not the wheel strategy. Why? Because the strategies I use for premium selling is just higher capital efficiency, and it's nothing bad for the wheel strategy. The wheel strategy is a great strategy that I think a lot of people should engage with, but it's a little bit less active. The strategies I use are very active, but I also in my life have the time to pay attention to the market every single day. So the wheel strategy is a great strategy. I have nothing negative to say about it, but the strategy I use, it requires a lot more market participation, but it's also a bit more capital efficient. Did you take any good advice from your I Quit video? So far, so good. Yeah, guys, if you haven't seen that video, Matt Kohrs I Quit, it's posted on the other channel, on YouTube, on Rumble, it's posted on the normal channel. I would ask all of you guys to watch it because basically it's me reaching out to you and asking for your thoughts, opinions, and advice on a couple things very important to the community. It's not a long video at all. You can rip it on double speed. It's not going to be a big time sink by any means. So please check that out. In fact, Mod, could you throw that in chat? Could you put that in the description of the video so people could find that link pretty easily? But we posted it up on the Matt Kohrs channel instead of the Matt Kohrs live show channel. But if you guys could watch it, like I said, even double speed, it would be a great help. Just asking you guys, the main community members, where you want to take the next chapter, if you will. How's your favorite stock PHH doing? Dude, short ladder attacks all day, every day. Like who would have ever thought a company that was publicly traded but hid all of its financial information from the public would have gotten hit? Dude, short ladder attacks. Do you happen to have the stats, the average pullback when a new all-time high is hit and moves up again? Yeah, the stats are that it actually keeps going. No matter how you slice it up, when you're talking about the overall market, when you're talking about the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, even the Russell, even the Dow, when we hit new highs, it is more statistically likely to hit new highs than turn back. When you hit highs, all of record highs, it's clustered by a bunch of other record highs. You just grind. And then eventually something happens and people take the profits and you take a bit of a breather. But that event happens once while all the events leading into it are new high, new high, new high, new high, new high. Do you use a screener? No, I have a universe of stocks that I personally care about, and I just check those every single day. I don't screen across the entire universe of stocks looking for certain setups. I care about a certain set of stocks, and I just wait for the setups to occur in them. I think both are fine, but I find when you're doing stuff like that, of I'm going to be checking out a screener, I find that you're always just chasing around, and then you end up starting to trade tickers that you're not really comfortable with, and you don't really know how they move. I think there is a benefit to getting intimate knowledge related to a certain subset of stocks and just getting really good at trading that subset of stocks. When trading calls, do you see a 2-to-1 ratio on delta to theta? No, I don't. I don't ever, and maybe I should, but I don't ever look at the ratio of delta to theta. I don't. And part of the reason for that is the delta is going to be impacted by the strike you pick, but the strike I pick happens a lot to do with I want to identify where big players are at. My goal in my swing positions is not only a technical setup where I have low risk, high reward, but my ultimate goal is to ride with the big guys. That is my goal. So I'm going to use a tool like Spot Gamma to identify where the big guys are at. So that could change things. I'm not just picking the exact same delta or theta or even delta theta ratio. My goal is to be this is where big money's at. Big money's generally right. Retail is generally wrong. I want to ride with big money. That's a higher level general thesis of what I'm attempting to do. Matt, do you have a dating profile on Tinder or Hinge? I do not. Matt, what is your basic criteria for picking your faves? A lot of liquidity, a lot of interest, as in a lot of people trading it, like high trade volume, and just movers. And that happens to be big tech plays right now, but also that works out for me well because that's also what my background's in. So I feel more comfortable with the tech sector anyway. But like, you're never going to really see me trading pharma stocks or any bullshit like that. I just don't think I have an edge. I don't think retail has any edge trading those types of stocks. Once in a while, I'll dabble in like a financial play, but generally I keep it to the universe of the Mag 7 or somewhat related to Mag 7. Like technically AMD and Palantir are not in the Mag 7, but I'll still trade them. Are you going on vacation anytime soon? No, I don't think so. I probably should though. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, how's the old portfolio opening today? How's the old portfolio opening today? Not bad, not bad. A nice little gap up of 7.6K, 8K, and climbing. Not gonna be complaining about that. All right, congrats. We hit a new all-time high. So whatever the high of the day is, that is the new all-time high. So we are looking pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, Bitcoin, I'm watching that. Let me know if it recaptures 118. We have a bit of profit taking on Nvidia. Remember, I told you on Nvidia, 170 is going to be a massive sticky area. And I know that because, like I said, there's a huge positive gamma node. I'll show you once again, but everyone thought I was loco crazy calling this out in pre-market trading. You guys called me that. Right here, look at this giant positive gamma. Remember, positive gamma is on the north side, negative gamma is on the bottom side. Positive gamma, it's not bullish or bearish. It is sticky. That's what it is. And it's a giant black hole. And guess where Nvidia is getting pulled to right out of the gate? Literally exactly 170. So yeah, you're going to have some excitement of people just like, hey, okay, profit taking, we opened up. I mean, here, I'll reload this just so you can see it. But this is actually kind of circling back to that one question I just got. Very, very good question of like, okay, like what's your general thesis? My general thesis is always wanting to know what the big players are doing. Wanting to know where the big players are positioned because you get these exact same things. That is a massive amount of sold calls, as in they're betting on Nvidia, not really going above it, creating a bunch of positive gamma. This positive gamma, in effect, ends up being sticky price action. Think of it as a giant black hole. And guess what? Nvidia right out of the gate sucked to it. Now, I'm going to be the first one to admit that when you have big news, sometimes it does override positive and gamma nodes. So let's see if we can maybe make a base there and bounce off of it. And like maybe we have enough terminal velocity to get out of this black hole and basically go up to 173. And then from there, it'd be looking at 178. Actually, that's in order. If we can find support at 170, next target 173, next target 178, maybe to 180. 180 is a bit of a reach, but maybe somewhere in this zone. I would not be holding it past that just because the structure right now, the option structure isn't really being supportive for a clear, concise move past that in the short term. Remember, a lot of the times when we're here on this show, people like to conflate what I'm saying oh, holy shit. Hang on. Oh, I already got the fill. Nice. I forgot I put Skynet on. Dude, that's how you do it. That's how you do it, dude. Dude, you just sit here with your boys and gals in chat and you're ripping it about a gamma conversation and you crush it by how much money was that? 1, 2, 20, 23, 2.3K out of the gate? A nice little 2.3K trade to start the day? Dude, that's how you do it. You rip it with your boys and your gals, and you let Skynet do all the dirty work. You let Skynet. So all my Apex accounts have officially crossed 53,000. Unfortunately, when I hit 8 trading days, I'm going to request money out, but it's going to get denied because I definitely did break one of the rules. The 30% drawdown. So when you first have an account, you can only do 30% of your profit. It can be your drawdown until you hit like 52, and then it could be 50%. But I did exceed it because I think when I was low, what was it? You could draw down by like $750, and my drawdown was like $1,000. So I just want to put it out there that when I do first do this request, it's going to get denied. So I still have to trade my 8 days. I'm going to put in the request. It's going to get denied. I'm fully expecting it. So I don't want anyone to freak out and be like, hey, man, like, oh, look at it. They're not paying anyone out, blah, blah, blah. Like, I already know I broke one of the rules. If you don't break the rules, they pay you out. If you do break the rules, they don't pay you out. It's not that crazy. For real, I think one of your accounts said 52K. What? I don't understand. What is the question? 52, 981. This says 151, 53, 53, 53, 53, 53, 53. Yeah, this is off by, that's because of slippage. It's off by $19. 53, 53, 53. Yeah, like slippage is a thing, and it's unfortunate. Joe, I guess I don't get your point. For real, I think one of your accounts said 52. These are 53. These are 51.1. They're all like a little different. Remember, folks, it doesn't matter until you get payouts. That's what matters. You can be running your sim accounts up or down, sideways, backwards, inside out. It doesn't matter until you can get that payout. That's the only thing that matters. People have an ability to run these sim accounts up and down, and they tweet about it, talk about it, this, that, the other thing. It does not, none of it matters whatsoever until the money is requested, approved, and ends in your bank account. You got to turn that fake money into real money. That's the only thing that matters. That is 100% the only thing that matters. Oh, I thought you just needed to be above 53 for payout. My bad. No, there's many, many rules that you have to follow to be able to get a payout. It's not just like the pure magnitude of the account. You have to have, there's consistency rules, there's drawdown rules. You have to trade a certain amount. That's, no. There's, well, we've talked about it a lot here too. Just having the right nominal value in your account doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get the payout. I wish it was that simple, but it's not. It's not. Folks, like, I get that the branding of Apex, of Take Profit Trader, of Top Step, of Tradeify, like all of these, let's be honest. They all sit there and they're all like, hey, we're trying to partner with you. Like, we're looking for real traders to do real things. And they pitch it as if it's like some giant partnership and you guys are like working together and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Folks, it's not like that. You don't walk into a casino and you're ripping it on blackjack and the casino's like, no, we're just looking for the best blackjack players. We love you. Come here. No, let's be honest. You're trying to take their money. You're trying to take their money. That's it. It's the same thing as a casino. Here's the rules of blackjack. The casino wants your money. You want their money. The rules are there. They're evident. If you want to sit down at the table and play, great. Best of luck. If you can crush it, crush it. They might crush you. I would say similar to a casino, the odds are not necessarily in your favor, but there are people who are uniquely good at it. And yeah, you can beat them. That's what it is. This idea of like, we're trying to be partnered up with you. Like, we're on the same side. No, you're not. No. But just because you're not on the same side doesn't necessarily mean it can't work. Like when you're sitting down and playing poker, like you're not there for sunshine and rainbows. They're trying to take your money. You're trying to take their money. That's how it goes, man. Like, it's just Apex with rules on PA, TPT has no funding consistency. Pick your poison. Yeah, but that's such a rudimentary way to look at it. They have completely different processes to get eval. It's different games. Like, even like the name of the game is obviously to make money, but it's not like you would compare blackjack and poker and baccarat and craps at a table. They're all different games with different rules. So you just have to learn the rules for that. And then if you like it, great. That's awesome. Find the rule set that is ideal for you and have at it. But I think that is far too simplistic. Apex has rules on PA. TPT has no funding consistency. Pick your poison. That, like, you're literally picking one little aspect of the whole thing and making a giant conjecture on what's better. All of these have pros and cons. Every single one has pros and cons. For example, Apex, yes, it is a con that they have rules on their PA accounts. It is a pro that they allow you up to 20 accounts, and then you have a 1-day pass. On TPT, it is a con that you have to trade for 5 days to get past, and they have consistency rules. They make it more difficult to pass. But once you do pass, you could get payouts. Unfortunately, instead of a 90-20 or 90-10 split, it's 80-20 until you run it up and then go to Pro Plus. Like Tradeify, it's a pro that you could start off with already a funded account. It's a little bit more costly, but you could already start off with a funded account. It's a con that they have a daily loss limit. Top Step, I actually don't use them. I just think that their CEO is kind of an asshat, at least the way he acts on Twitter. So I really don't have any commentary. But my point is that there's no sweeping generalization of what is better and what is worse. It's for you and your system and how you approach the market. You're going to want to find that skill set that is specifically optimal for you to be successful. We all approach the markets in different ways. We all have different mental frameworks of what the market is, what it isn't, and more importantly, of how to engage with it. So then find the set of rules that is most ideal for you. That's how you do it. But this idea of one is better, one is worse, it's up to you. It's better or worse for you. It's not better or worse in a vacuum. I'm trying to get the options flow, but do I need to log out and log back in? For some reason, this data is not loading right now. Log out. Here, let me log out, log back in. For some reason, it's coming through here. I'm seeing the trades hit on the bottom, but the chart is not updating for some reason. So we'll just have to come back to it. But it also might be because I'm on staging. I'm in their beta testing program. So I have a feeling if you're on their production program, it's probably fine. But like I said, I'm in their beta. So when they push updates and they're testing out new things, I'm in that batch of people who test it. So they might be pushing something right now. So I'll just be coming back to it in a second. But what I could show you is the big guys are not doing much this morning, but that's because the market just opened. Here's a look at the book map. Some buying is stepping in right now as we speak. Aggressive selling. Wow. Look at that. They were just hitting the market from market open right around 9:39, just selling aggressively, hitting the bid. And it wasn't until here that we saw more so on the aggressive side of buying. Remember, every single trade has a buyer and a seller. That's how trading works. It's more of, are you meeting on the bid, the ask, or at the midpoint? If you're meeting on the bid, which is thought to be aggressive selling because the seller is taking less of a value, they're traversing the spread, that's those red dots. And then aggressive buying, as in the buyer is thought to be traversing the spread and buying on the ask, buying at a higher value. That's why it's thought to be aggressive buying, and that's all this green. So the bubbles on the chart, red is aggressive selling, green is aggressive buying, and then the heat map that you're seeing in the background is the passive sell orders, like the sitting limit sell orders and the sitting limit buy orders. Obviously, if it is beneath spot price, all those colors are the sitting buy orders, the passive sitting buy orders. And then if you see something colorized to the north of us, above us, that is the passive sitting sell order. So sell orders up here, buy orders down here, but the colorized heat map is passive, while the dots are more of the aggressive stuff going on. So to no one's surprise whatsoever, we have clearly some profit taking right out of the gate. Wouldn't be surprised about that at all. And also, we happen to open up at a massive important level of 6,300, and then even right away. I actually would have preferred that we dip further. I would have preferred that we cleaned up the chart and got this downside gap fill and bounced off of that. But we're seemingly already starting to bounce a little bit earlier. Maybe not. Maybe there's a little bit more of a drawdown that we still have. But I would actually feel much better about the structure of the market if we sold all the way to the downside gap fill at 6,273, clean up the chart, hit that gap fill, create a base, and then bounce off of that, and then ideally rip up to 6,325, settle there for the midday, and then push up to 6,350 at close. That would be, excuse me, something's in my throat. That would actually be a perfect day, kind of like that Nike swoosh recovery. So I'm not really on a 0 DT perspective that pressure to be buying right now because, like I said, I think there's a high proclivity for market participants to want to see the supply and demand really to see how it plays out somewhere between 6268 and 6275, somewhere in this zone. It's finding a bit of a base right now. Big players aren't doing anything yet. We did see a little bit of buying here. Let me zoom out a bit more just so you guys can see it. So selling, literally, we got a pop for the first like couple seconds, selling, a little bit of a pop, selling, a little bit of a pop, selling, then a big slew of selling at really the 10-minute Orbo. What is in my chest, guys? This is why I should stop smoking 4 packs a day. The menthols are getting to me. A little bit of a double top right there. This is on NQ. Obviously, you could evaluate it on ES as well. ES is still seeing some pretty hardcore selling. Yeah, there's ES pretty much selling out of the gate. Looks like a lot. We had a lot of sitting sellers at 6342. So this is for the S&P 500. This is for the NASDAQ. I'm seeing some questions of what else could you put up here? Literally anything. Equities, crypto, like you can put up on the heat map whatever you want. I just tend to look at ES and NQ with you guys because it seems like a lot of us are actively trading that. But looks like a base is being found on SPX. Like I said, I would have preferred it if we got the gap fill. But hey, I guess if the buyers want to be buyers, 5-minute broke down, 10-minute testing, 30-minute, 4-hour bullish. Let me set that up. 5-minute broke down, already bouncing. 10-minute tested, bouncing. 30-minute bullish. Here, let me reset up these breakout and breakout lines. But looks like a base is being found right now. AMD just got a pop, so semiconductor still absolutely rocking it. Where's my Soxel? Why don't I have Soxel here? I'm in Soxel. How do I not have Soxel on my chart if I'm actively trading it? Why am I a crazy person like that? Am I green on my Soxel? Finally, I got back green. Dude, I've been nursing this position forever. So overall, I just got back net green, but my one-day returned a nice 5K pop on that. But what matters is your net, and my net just got where I need it to be. I'm a little bit surprised. Skynet has only fired once. So if you're just tuning in right now, in terms of my active trades, I've only done one trade today, and it was via Skynet. I took a short here at 934. I made $100 on 23 different accounts, so that's 2.3K. That was my one active trade of the day. The market tried to pop here, getting hit as predicted. I really, folks, I really think the market wants to get this downside gap fill. Like I said, I'm not going long. I don't want to go long until we clean up this chart. I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable about the long opportunity after the chart. Like it's just, and the reason why I say clean up the chart is the odds of these gap fills on the daily chart are absurdly high and they're well known. So when the odds are good and it's well known, it becomes more of a self-fulfilling prophecy because a lot of people play it. There are many traders out there, institutions, retail, everything in between, that at market open took the short with 6273 being their target just because they read that. And when enough people do that, that's how it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So knowing that the odds of it are good, knowing that it's a popular trade, knowing that a lot of people are talking about it, I just have no reason to be going long until we do this, until we see that particular trade play out. Now, the reason why I'm not playing it is because it's counter trend, and I really don't like doing counter trend. We literally opened to a new all-time high. Shorting at a new all-time high is by definition counter trend. So I'm really only interested in long trades at this particular moment based on the data we have, based on what's going on. So even though that is by definition mathematically a smart play, I just don't like it because it's counter trend. I would rather trade with the overall trend. So that's kind of like my mindset on it. But if you took that trade, the math does support you. I'm not saying it's a bad trade. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily fit with like my approach to the market. But if it fits, like if you're a contrarian trader and you like doing that type of stuff, yeah, the odds are there for you. So I don't blame you. Can AMC win something from this bullish trend? No, AMC is a dog shit stock. AMC is not going to win anything because they have like a measurably retarded board and leadership team, and then the base that supports it, the current retail base that supports it, is only the dumbest people left over from 2021. Like exclusively the dumbest people. All the smart people left early. All the medium intelligence people left, whatever, a year or two in it. So the retail support base that still talks about AMC is like measurably retarded. And the only people more retarded is the leadership team of AMC. It's just the amount of opportunity you're missing out on by still at all caring about AMC is astounding. Like it's all these beautiful opportunities flying by, and then you're asking dipshit questions about AMC. Folks, there is this idea of capital efficiency. We all only have X amount of money to invest, and we don't have an infinite amount of money. So because you have a finite amount of capital, you should theoretically be saving your capital for what you perceive to be the best opportunities. And clearly, AMC in the universe, I would much rather go all in on XRP than I would AMC. If you force me, like it wouldn't even be close. And I'm not in any way a fan of XRP, but at least I have a chance of making money on XRP. You have no chance of making money on AMC. Like all of my money, my entire net worth, if I had to put it into XRP or AMC, it would like, I wouldn't even have to think about it. XRP by a mile. At least XRP has some people who like maybe have some form of intelligence and like can have an interesting conversation about it. And if a couple like policy things break their way, yeah, XRP, it's a fun active trade and maybe it turns into an investment. Dude, AMC doesn't have a shot. It's just so far behind. When the leadership came out with Ape, I was completely done and never looked back. Hey, has anyone ever noticed that as soon as Ape came out, I was like the one content creator to say that this is like horrible dilution and everyone should be careful? And then I just got shit on and everyone else was like, no, this is great. Adam Aaron wouldn't do this to us. And I was right, even though there's strong suspicion that people like were intentional. Well, it's not strong suspicion. Trey literally told everyone to his face that he was lying to them because he just wanted to say exactly what the community wanted to hear. I get it. I'm a dick. Like, I fully understand that I have pretty harsh edges, but at least I told you guys the truth the entire time. And I assume that's why you guys are still watching right now, is because even though I have like super, super rough edges, at least I'm not going to lie to you. The amount of motherfuckers who are just lying, I find that to be so incredibly immoral. And man, I kind of forgot about this. That was what, circa 2022, where like the community started to split and you had Ape and HYMC and all of this. And I started just covering the news honestly and earnestly and saying this is bullshit. And the amount of shit that I got, and to get all that shit and then to still end up being right, it's crazy. I remember Meat Kevin got a lot of shit for it too. Yeah, he did. But also he had a very well-known brand beforehand. He wasn't necessarily like starting off his content career with AMC. In fact, he was absurdly well-known before that. And then he just covered it because it was like hot news. And yeah, you're right. He was right. He had a well-formed, honest, earnest opinion, and his prediction ended up coming to fruition. But I also don't put him in that group because, like I said, he already had like a lot of people knew his name way, way before that. Everyone loves to dance around the issues. Glad you don't. Thank you, Krabby Jones. That's a hilarious name and a hilarious picture. All right, market finally starting to stabilize. Like I said, I really wouldn't mind one little overreactive push to get this downside gap fill. I kind of actually don't want it to bounce right now. I kind of want like a wick out situation, just like a quick wick and then a bounce and then we rip. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. Dude, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I want to happen is a wick down. We just barely tag it. I want to see 6273.30. Like we just overshoot it by 1 cent. I just want to see that tag them, we bag them, and we just rip up. And then I want to see just like a grind up to 63225, sideways, and then in power hour we pop. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm putting out into the universe. That would be, it's probably low odds that it works out that perfectly, but hey, I'm putting it out into the universe just to see if that would happen. We're putting it out. a little wick right here. Tap, jump, and rip. Tap, jump, and rip. Nvidia, not liking that 170. It tried to get going above 170, but as I pointed out here, too much of a gamma influence at 170, at least as of now. 5-minute breaking down, 10-minute breaking down, 30 minutes still holding. 5-minute breaking down, 10-minute testing, 30-minute, 4 hours still holding. So Qs sold off, SPY sold off. Both are going sideways. The SPY's up 0.2%. The Qs are up 0.5%. The Russell's actually in the red. Small caps getting hit. Nvidia's green, Broadcom's green, ASML's green, Tesla's green, Microsoft's green, Apple is green. Meta's actually red. Netflix is actually red. MicroStrategy a bit red. Something's going on with coin. Is coin breaking down? I just got an alert on coin. No, breakout on coin. It's going for it. Coin's making that move. Interesting that coin's going even though Bitcoin's not touching. I know they don't have a that strong of a correlation anymore, but still just kind of interesting to see Bitcoin in the red and then coins in the green. But if you're riding coin, congrats. Just got another breakout alert on that. Seems like it really wants to tag 400 and potentially be going for that new all-time high, which would be just above 428 something, above 429. So basically that all-time high is 430 on coin from its IPO. All right, what are we doing? Sideways. Did we ever get this data? Did it load in? I should probably get off of staging if that's still the issue. All right, I'm flying a little bit dark. Once again, it's because I'm in staging. I'm in the beta testing program, but I should probably just go to production. I'll give it another second to see. Here's what we have going on. Nothing really. A lot of passive buyers down here at 23140 on NQ. But if anything, this has just been a chop fest. Selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, nothing, little bit of selling, and back to nothing. See how the smaller the balls are, that represents less volume traded. So even now, you're seeing the smaller and smaller trades. So we're not getting those big orders that we were before. Lot of aggressive selling up here at 23190. Lot of aggressive selling, and then a lot of aggressive buying here at 23140. Might end up being a dip buy. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of flush it and maybe look at that intraday low. So I'd be, if you're trading NQ, 23140, 45 is VWAP. So there's a lot of things happening at this area. We have VWAP, we have a lot of sitting buy orders. So we could see if there's a bit of a reaction there, but I'm not really feeling much pressure to do anything until I see that perfect setup. I've kind of already explained to you guys what I think that perfect setup is going to be. And unfortunately, I don't think that the party's going to get going in the market until we get this gap fill. What's that? About 8 points below us. Do we have a lot of sitting orders there? Where are the sitting orders? Nope, that's not what I want. I wouldn't be... What's 8 points below us? 15. No. Okay, so they're sitting buy orders 12 points below us on ES. I'm surprised that we're not seeing more sitting buy orders at the rough equivalent to that gap fill. There's a chunk there, but I'm surprised this isn't deeply red on ES. And obviously this is dynamic. It could change at any moment here. But I'm surprised we're not seeing that flush the buyers, and then we go. All right, I'm going to set an alert on that, so we're going to hear it when it goes off if it touches 6273.31. There's obviously people playing it, quite a bit of open interest at 6275. This is just taking forever, though. Let's just do it. Shit or get off the pot. Just tag it so we have more time to go back up. Let's just take care of it. Just tag it. Just go. Just tag it. Make our life easy. And we'll go from there. We'll just go from there. Come on. All right. How are these things happening? In PLTR actually bouncing back. Meta not looking so good. Netflix bouncing back. Microsoft's actually looking pretty good. Apple's giving up. MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy and coin are looking good, even though Bitcoin's kind of flat at 118. Oh, that's a decent recovery relative to what we saw overnight. I'm just waiting for that little extra flush right here. Just this little extra baby flush in SPX. This is all I'm waiting for. If you're just joining in right now, I've only done one 0DT trade. I've only done one day trade today right here. I did it on my Tradeify account, my 20 Apex accounts, and my 2 Take Profit accounts. That's 23 accounts, $100 each, so basically up 2.3K. Not going to complain about that. I'm not done. I'm looking to do 1 or 2 more trades. I'm looking to catch the reversal in all reality. That's really what I want to do right now, but I'm just not seeing the opportunity quite yet. I'm waiting for this to get tagged. I'm waiting for this bad boy to get tagged. Waiting. 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 Will we bounce? We got close. 77. I was looking at 73. Slowly but surely, we are grinding down to that level. Slowly but surely. Oh, come on. Bitcoin's doing its thing. Microsoft was still picking up. Netflix was also kind of stalled out a little bit there on Netflix. Palantir was also fighting back. All right. We have something. The SPY's getting hit. Qs are getting hit. Seems like some profit taking in the semiconductors. A little bit of profit taking. Come on. All right. We just hit the turn of the hour. This might be enough. This might be what we need. No, I guess not. I thought maybe the turn of the hour, 10 a.m., we had some bot trades. Maybe this will be enough just to tag it real quick. Come on. Come on. Let's just clean it up. Coin's looking actually really good, in my opinion. SPX, this is how close we are. We're just that distance away from cleaning it up. So close. So close, yet no cigar. We'll hear an alert go off, actually. Here, I'll put it on so you guys can actually hear the alert. Turn the audio on, but I have an alert set for the second that we hit that. Come on. We could have just made this so much easier. Honestly, if it gets this close, doesn't hit it, and starts to bounce, I find that to be like a really difficult trade because you're in the back of your mind. You'd be like, what if it's like a little bit of a fake out and we go down there anyway? Like those ones where we get like that close, but it doesn't actually hit it, I actually find to be like uniquely difficult. You're not special. You're not anything special. Keep it real. You're trading one contract and you're getting these accounts for free. Dude, I fucking wish I was getting these accounts for free. Oh my God, I wish you should see my fucking credit card bill. Dude, do you know how much stress there would not be in my life if I got these accounts for free? Dude, do you see these bags under my eyes? Do you see my general temperament? Do I seem like the person that has the stress levels of getting my accounts for free? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, I'd be the most bubbly content creator. Like life would be great. Dude, my fucking credit card bill would beg to differ, brother. Beg to differ that I get these accounts for free. I fucking wish, man. I wish. Life would be beautiful if I didn't have to pay for these things. My fucking credit card bill. I think on Apex alone this year, my credit card bill cumulatively on Apex tests and upgrades is in excess of $50,000. It's literally over 50 grand that I've spent on my credit card for Apex. Well, stop blowing them willy-nilly then. Oh, okay. Just trade better. Oh, I've never heard that before. Thank you, Chris, with the amazing insight as always. Why don't you just trade better? Oh, that's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. You just need to buy low and sell high. I've never thought about it like that. So Apex doesn't compensate you at all? I mean, I have an affiliate deal. If you sign up with my link and code, I get a cut, but you don't have to use it. I mean, if you don't use it, that just means the company itself keeps all the money. So I would say, like, spread the love to the content creators. I think it's silly to not use a code, but no, it's an affiliate deal. And sometimes you guys love using my code some months, and other months you think, hey, go fuck that Matt kid. But I mean, I think it's a win-win, because then you're buying something that you're going to want anyway. And then it's a way to compensate me for all the free content that I put out there and all the shenanigans we get into. So you're helping me, but then it's no money out of like your book. It's no money out of your wallet. It's like you could help me get compensated by taking money out of someone else's wallet. Is like the best way. Like I kind of think of like these affiliate deals. It's if it's something you're going to buy anyway, and you use a person's affiliate code, that's great because you're helping them out, and it's nothing off your back type of a situation. How are you trading all these prop accounts simultaneously? Just a copy trader. There's a lot out there. Hopefully you got your credit cards at 0% APR. I mean, I pay my bills off, dude. Yeah, I'm not going to be like financially irresponsible and put more on my credit cards that it becomes like a massive debt situation that I can't handle. That's just, at that point, you should stop doing it. Like, I think there's a lot of things we do here. Like if you're in like a financially stressed situation, trading is not for you. You should not be trading your way out of debt. If you're in a financially stressed situation, you should not be doing sim to funded trading. Like this type of engagement in the market is not for people who like you need that money. Like if you have debt over your head, you should take care of that. Like the market's always going to be here. It's always going to be here. There's always going to be things going on. Get your life into a situation where you're a little bit more stable, a little bit more comfortable, and then guess what? The market's there, and you could always engage in it. But this idea of like, oh, I'm in a bad financial situation, I'm going to trade my way out of it, does not work. We've seen some highly disgraced former AMC content creators trying to trade their way out of 7-figure debt. And guess what? They blow out and they bring everyone else watching them and mimicking them down with them because you're not trading in the right mindset. There is an aspect of variance to this particular game, and you're going to take losses. And when you're in that moment of needing the money, needing the trade to work, you're not going to handle it well when variance hits and you inherently have a loss or a string of losses. And even though that's part of the game, it's a very brutal part of the game, but it's a part of the game nonetheless. You're not going to be in the right mindset to handle the inevitable losses that are coming, even if you're trading well. This idea of trading yourself out of the hole, it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. What about only playing with house money? I would say have at it if you are financially stable enough to do it. If you have house money, but you still have debt over your head, take care of your debt. What are you doing? The compounding nature of debt, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And it's actually going to get worse at an exponential rate, especially if you're not paying it off. So if you have house money, but the other financial aspects of your life are unstable, just take care of it. Dude, the market's going to be here. The period that you miss to get the stability in the rest of your life, It's not like that's going to be the best period of trading ever. There's always another day. There's always another market. Get the other things of your life where it needs to be, and then it's going to be here. At least you got $500 back from the 1%, LOL. What? House money equals second mortgage? That's a fair question, Daniel. By house money, he means he mortgaged a house. All right, that's a different story. And I guess if you did that, that's super degenerate. And I wish you the best of luck. I hope you crush it. All right, guys, I'm in a little bit of a coinkydink here. The bot's about to fire. But we didn't get the gap fill. That doesn't make me feel the best. I'm also flying dark with that data. Shit.
Order submitted.
Yeah, it just went, it traded it. The bot took the trade, but we didn't get the gap fill. Come on, Lucky Shamrock. Come on, Lucky Shamrock.
Order.
There we go. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Fucking Skynet crushes again. All right, 2.3K to now 4.6K. Doesn't matter. All right, I'm actually going to turn it off now because that one was a little sketchy. All right, I turned Skynet off. So up $200 per account, 23 accounts, so that's 4.6K. But I am attempting to patiently wait. I'm getting a little sketched out because we got very, very close to this downside gap fill. Buyers are starting to step in to the point that right there, my bot went long on this technical breakout. The reasoning for this trade, and I don't mind, I'll give it to you, was it recaptured VWAP and it took out the recent high. So mine went long after this bar closed because this bar at 1010 closed above the recent high. The recent high was at 951. Well, you could even count this. Like regardless, the 1010 bar closed above this chunk and this chunk on a recapture VWAP. So it first recaptured VWAP, closed above the recent highs, and it went long. That was the strategy. That was like the thought behind it. So I, as a bot, like, okay, I see what it did. But the bot didn't take into account that we didn't get this downside gap fill. And that's what's freaking me out. Like, if you rewind the stream about 10 minutes, I was complaining about how it's like super sketchy. We didn't get the gap fill. That's going to ruin my day. Fuck, dude. Like, why couldn't we just touch it and then just go from there? Dude, folks, I think this still might be a little bit of a fake out. I don't know. But I just don't have the best vibes about that. They didn't get the gap fill. Why didn't they get the gap fill? Dude, that might ruin my day. Vibes are now low. Vibes are now low. Oh, this would have been so much easier to ride back to the upside. Like, it would have been so comically easy to spam long at that and just ride this puppy into close. Not that I'm condoning anyone attempt to saddle their young canine and ride it like a horse, unless it's a really big puppy and you're a really small person. Damn, dude, they're really going to give us this setup? Dude, we were just dealt pocket aces, and the flop just turned out to be dog shit. We had such a good setup. Such a good setup. Matt confirmed he's a bot, dude. I wish. I wish. It'd make my life easier. Are they going to go for it? Is this the fake out? Is this the little bull trap here? They're going to flush it one more time. Palantir's looking good. Microsoft's looking good. Even Nvidia started to bounce back. Avago bouncing back. ASML picking up. Tesla 318. Palantir's looking good. Meta's getting hit. Netflix is continuing higher. Microsoft is looking good. Apple's picking up. MicroStrategy's looking good. Dude, they're going to do me like this. They're going to do me like this. Well, whatever. I have to be disciplined. Like, I pitched the trade plan. The trade plan was going long after the gap fill. We didn't get the gap fill. So now that I'm an old, withered man at the age of 31, new year, new me. And the new year has to be a bit more disciplined. So I need to stick to the trade plan. If this were Matt, as of last week, I'd be like, yep, you missed the pop. Spam it long, and we'll ride it up. But alas, that is not in my trading plan. So I have to be a bit more patient. I have to. And, I mean, it's looking good, too. It really is looking like we're reversing. It's just like I can't take on that. There is a non-0% chance that this gets smacked back down one more time. And I just don't want to take on that risk because that is quite a bit of risk with respect to NQ. We're trading at 23,190. That's 70 points away. That's $1,400 per account. I don't want to risk $1,400 for it just to tag me and then to bounce anyway. So, like, I just need to be a little bit more reasonable. I mean, it's painful. Dude, folks, if you degenerately bought this pop at 10.05, I'm there with you. Spiritually, I'm there with you. Metaphysically, I am jealous of you. If you bought that long at 10.05 and said, you know what, that's close enough to the gap fill, I'm jealous of the giant sack you have. I'm jealous, dude. I'll tell you how I see it. I'm jealous. What a play that was. It happens. What is this one? MP Materials stock rip 70% higher after $500 million Apple deal for rare earth magnets. The earth has magnets? Why does no one tell me this stuff anymore? All right. What are the key levels? To the downside, 6,250 is the major support. To the upside, 6,290, 6,300 is the major resistance. So basically today, we're looking somewhere between this breakout level and this support level. That is like the options market prediction of breakout or breakdown, but good chance we stay within those bounds. 5 minute is bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minute is attempting to save itself, 4 hour is bullish. 5 minute bouncing back, 10 minute bouncing back, 30 minute bouncing back, 4 hour even really bouncing back. So the Nasdaq is, and it's because of the semiconductor news, specifically Nvidia and AMD, things are looking pretty good. But I was waiting. I'm attempting to wait for one more flush. I'm trying to be patient. I want to make sure. Did I turn the bot off? I did turn the bot off. So I've done 2 trades today, 1 short trade, 1 long trade. I'm up about 4K cumulatively on all the accounts. Remember, it doesn't matter. When you're up 4K, like I get that sounds crazy because 4K nominally on your life, if you do that every single day, has a giant impact. Like no one's fucking sad making 4K a day. But remember, in the world of sim-to-funded trading, it's Schrodinger's money. It's simultaneously real money and fake money. Like it kind of counts, but it kind of doesn't count. So as much as like I find that there's in this the guru space of the sim to funded stuff right now, there's this like idea of like, oh, like pushing it because like it's impressive numbers. But remember, it's only actually impressive unless the money hits your bank account. So like as much as that sounds cool, I just want to remind everyone, I cannot touch that money. So don't look at me and be like, yo, this guy has it all figured out. Sexy as hell, really cool cat, cool vibe, like great hairline. And I get that on the surface level, I seem like a guy who has it all figured out. But remember, I can't touch that money. Like I can't use it. It's not in my bank account. So like I don't want those numbers to sound so good and then to put pressure on you guys of like, oh, I should be doing that too. When you have to realize that like I'm not really doing it until it's in my bank account. So don't construe it as like, okay, this is a guy doing it. I need to be trading at that level. I need to be matching those numbers too. Like, I don't want this like comparison to somehow fuck you guys up, because remember, it's not real money until it actually is. So like, if you want to compare it when I finally get the payouts, okay, that's fair, because like that's when you're actually getting money. But on a day-to-day thing, what's the saying? Like, comparison is the thief of joy. Folks, it's fake money until it's real. And as of right now, it's still fake money. It's still fake money. So like, it just is what it is. Like I said, it's Schrodinger's money. Men, those are pennies from heaven. I don't know what that means, but that's a really cool saying. I'm not as good as you, Matt. I don't think it'd be wise for me to get a sim-funded account. Well, it would definitely be better than a real funded account. If you're just starting, use a paper account. Not real trading, not real money, no risk. The next thing is sim to funded, where you have a little bit of risk, a potential for reward, but you're really minimizing your risk. And then when you're comfortable there, that's when then you can go into your own fully funded account. That's like, I guess, the order of operations. But if you're not feeling comfortable trading, why would you go with your own fully funded account? Especially now with the advent of sim to funded trading, lessen your risk. There's a giant learning curve to being a successful trader. So because it's so large, you first need to survive the marathon that is like the tutorial island of trading. And your odds of success are going to be greater like the longer you stay around, and you're going to increase the amount you could stay around by like taking smaller hits in the beginning stages. So by definition, sim to funded is a better way for you to get started as you're just learning about like what trading is. New trade deal. Where? What's the news? New Indonesian US trade deal. Oh, so that's probably going to impact some of the like your Gaps, your Lululemons, your Nikes, your Under Armours. Please explain the sim to funded rules for payouts. They're all different depending on the firm you use. Apex doesn't have the same rules as Take Profit Trader, as TopStep, as Tradeify, as Funding Ticks, as My Funded Futures. They're all different. Just go. Like, do you have the ability to read? Just go on their website. Like, if you're confused about something, I'm more than happy to, I guess, do my best to offer a bit of clarification. But if you're saying you just want me to perfectly reiterate all the rules of all the firms because you're too lazy to go to their website, I don't know, go fuck yourself. Like, just go read it on the website. Like I said, if you're confused about a rule, I'm more than happy to answer it. But if you're literally too lazy to read the rules at all, what? I would suggest you don't trade it at all, because you're too lazy of a person to be successful in this. Shilling for a product, refuses to actually tell us about it. What? What product? Bro, do you know how many videos I have on this? Refuses to tell you about it. You mean I refuse to engage with lazy people? All right, not only do I give strategies, take profit evaluation pass. How to pass the take profit evaluation easily. Be prop trading. Why 90% of Apex traders fail. Apex rules explained. Apex traders rules fully explained. Prop trading explained. What is prop trading? The best Apex account. I feel like I've actually made all of the content here explaining all of these. It's not my fault you guys are lazy. Brambo, can't comprehend. I got shilled in a BlockFi. That's not my fault that you were so stupid to use BlockFi. That's not on me. Brambo, I'll give you 10 seconds to apologize for being like a little cunt, or I'm just going to block you. Just overall, not liking your vibe. So tell us Apex payout then, dickweed. Well, congratulations. You're now just gone forever because you're a little fucking cunt. Hide user. All right, see ya. Bye. Everyone say bye. We sacrificed them. We sacrificed them to the market gods. See you later. So fucking stupid. Oh, someone else got me to sign up for BlockFi. That's your fault. Oh. That's the craziest argument I've ever heard, because you were so stupid to do something else. You're now blaming me, like literally no connection to me whatsoever. And it's those types of people that really think they're going to be successful in trading. That's crazy. Like, it is very much mutually exclusive to have someone that's such a fucking lazy dipshit that then also thinks that they have the capabilities to becoming a successful trader. That's crazy to me. Folks, if you have like literally borderline zero self-drive, trading is not for you. Actually, there's many things in life that are not for you if you have the self-drive of a fucking rock. Of a rock. That's crazy. All right, well, in honor of the guy we just murked, don't forget to sign up for Tradeify. Use that code Goonie. And the pitch is, not only does it end tonight, but it's going to piss that guy off. It's going to absolutely piss that guy off that he's now banned. He's probably, like, actually, can I see? I might be able to see if he's still watching the stream. Oh, he is. Oh, he's in here. Now he's just mad. So he's still in the stream watching. He just can't talk. So as this fucking incel is punching the air, feel free to use that code Goonie to sign up for Tradeify to kind of just show him what's up. All right, here we go. Finally, are we doing this? Are we doing it? Are we doing it? Thanks, Matt, for confirming Bookmap. Can't believe how much it was. Well, Sean, remember, if you do it, make sure you use that the discount if you actually bought it. Make sure to use that discount. All right. I'm seeing on ES, on the S&P 500 futures market, decent amount of buying attempting to step in at 6311, 6310. Once again, this is on ES. And then on NQ, actually a good rip of buying right here, but then there was another chunk somewhere else. Yeah, at 63150. 63150. Another little chunk. So I want to see how these things play out. 6311, 6310, and then 23,150, 155, something like that. A lot of selling up here at 23,200. All right. Looks like the Qs are already getting their bounce. Dude, I can't imagine how pissed that little fucking twat is. I can't imagine. Punch in the air. Getting Cheeto dust all over his hair. It's all right, little buddy. Life's only going to get worse. Sacrifice that guy just made me lots of money. Anything for you guys. Do you have a buy order in the close gap? I don't, because I'm attempting to play NQ instead of ES. So like it's not going to be that perfect linear thing. So I'm kind of waiting to hear that alert ping that we got the gap fill on SPX. But I'm looking to execute a long trade on the NASDAQ because on a relative basis, the NASDAQ is stronger. So I'm looking for the gap fill. Ooh. There's still the gap fill on the Qs, but maybe we have some buying stepping in. Is this still not working for me? Dude, is this going to be the second time that they get us that close? Palantir's looking awesome. Microsoft's looking pretty awesome. Netflix is picking up aggressively. Meta's not doing anything. Yeah, Palantir's looking super good. No BS. Matt is the best. Thank you, KPT, for that $4.99. That's very, very kind of you. Oh, we also missed a member. Big Fat Rambo. So we killed one guy named Brambo, but we got a new member called Big Fat Rambo. So I think that's a trade-off. I think that's a trade that I'm willing to take. Palantir dominant. Is Coin still dominating? It was dominating, taking a bit of a breather. What else is flying right now? Avago's looking good. How's Soxel looking? Not as good as I wanted to. I want Soxel above 30. Soxel, that's a ticker you could yell as like, I don't know, kind of like a calling card, you know? Soxel, you just got Soxeled. I don't know. Like, that's just a cool thing. Just like Broadcom, Avago. Kind of sounds like Travago, but that's just another one that you could yell if you needed to. It's another one you could yell. Dude, SPY, just give us a little bit and then rip it, brother. We're not doing rocket surgery here. Soxel. We're just waiting on it. I feel like Soxel is something you would read in Dr. Seuss. Could be. Could be. Break. Go. Do you think it could continue to fake out until the gap price and chop all day? Oh, how, like, could that theoretically happen? Of course it could. Of course it could. It's just, remember, we're here to play ideally the highest probability pathway. And I would argue on the current setup, with the current backdrop of what's going on, the highest probability pathway is a bounce off the downside gap fill, and then we keep pushing. Does that mean it's guaranteed? No. I would say the market path. Oh, God. All right. So instead of, a lot of the times when we look at the market, we look at it like linear with time, obviously on the x-axis here, and it does like whatever. All right. My conjecture is maybe if we looked at the market like this and we start here, this is our starting point. And let's say you just have various pathways. I would say a better mental framework is to, okay, these are all theoretical things that could happen throughout the day. And maybe this pathway has like a 5% probability. Maybe this one has a 15% probability. I believe the best way to like look at the market is attempting to identify the highest probability pathway. Maybe this is just like we rip 5% and that's like very unlikely. So that's 0.01. So there's a bunch of probabilities and a bunch of different pathways. And then we're just trying to say, okay, like as things develop, like what's the high probability pathways? So I would say what you're asking, is it possible? Yeah, I wouldn't say that's the highest probability pathway. I think the highest probability pathway is kind of what we're seeing right here. We get this downside gap fill. That's step one. And now step two is, are buyers going to step in? And that's what I'm personally looking for. And then I could ride this with the overall trend, which happens to be bullish to the upside. Is that going to happen? I don't know. And just because something's a high probability pathway doesn't mean it's going to be the pathway that plays out by any means. But life is easier if you're continually taking the higher probability bets. Life is definitely a wee bit easier. Right there. We just tagged it. All right, let's do the 3 minute. 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 And now that we've tagged that downside gap fill, I wish I had the flow, which is currently not working over here. All right, that's not loading for me. But we do see this. So we sold all the way to there. Then we saw some buying, and now we're going a bit sideways. We have some buyers coming in here. We also have, well, now there's these buyers. 20 points. That's $400 worth of risk. 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 20 points. That's $400 worth of ri
Order submitted.
Okay. So there's this yellow line is the point of control. It's the highest volume node of the day, as in most transactions have occurred at roughly 23,165. And then this white line, which I think my head's blocking, you're just going to have to trust me, is 23,150. But we just tagged VWAP, attempting to bounce off of it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I went long, and I'm hoping that this low that we just saw at 10:30 on the SPY and the Qs is basically just a higher low on the Qs. I hope it's the low of the day on the SPY. And really what I'm looking for confirmation is for the SPY to go above 62640. And I'm looking for the Qs to first take out 559.92, this recent high, but really I'm looking for it to take out 560.21. So that's kind of my setup. We sat here, we talked about it a lot, and I think it's a good trade. Like I said, I just went long. I got a fill at 23,171.75. So basically, I'm long at 72 on NQ. I'm long right here at 72. I got a little excited by this buying in here. I was like, oh, people are starting to buy. Like, let me chase with them. Here's my position right here. I'm long at 72. My risk is this recent low. If that risk gets hit, I will be red on the day. Not egregiously red, but red nonetheless. And like I said, I'm attempting to take advantage of what I perceive to be the high probability pathway. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe my analysis is correct, maybe it's not. There is a situation in which my analysis could be correct, and it is the high probability pathway, but yet the high probability pathway doesn't play out. My analysis could be wrong, and maybe what I perceive to be the high probability pathway is not right, but it plays out anyway, and I just get lucky. You kind of don't know. All I can tell you is I have well-defined risk. If I do get hit, it's not going to be the nicest thing. It happens, but I think it's a worthwhile risk. A little VWAP bounce. I would prefer what is this? This trend line breaks, a little bit of this bull flag. I'm a little bit early to it, but obviously if I wait for the trend line to break, I'd be getting a fill 10 points higher, $200 off. So like, yeah, you could have a higher accuracy by waiting for the structure to really play out, but then you're going to be taking on more risk. So that's the trade-off between accuracy and risk. You can't be more accurate and take on less risk. Those are counter of each other. Generally, that's going to be the trade-off. More risk, less accuracy. Higher accuracy, more risk. They're going to be at odds with each other. So if I waited for this breakout, I would have higher accuracy, but I'd be farther away from my risk point. That's the trade-off. More sure about the trade, you take on more risk. And damn, this one not feeling so good at the exact moment. Like I said, if I get tagged again, if we don't get this trend line breakout, I wish I had the ability to see what's going on here. Yeah, the vibes are not feeling so good on this one at the moment. Vibes are not feeling so good on this one at the moment. It's coming for my stop. What's happening over here? Ran, I guess, into too much selling. It's coming for me. 46. Yeah, a lot of selling showed up at 70 and 75 on the NQ contract. And unfortunately, I'm long in between those. So that's a very unfortunate break. I went long on this breakout right here, and then starting at, I don't know, a couple minutes later, someone put in a lot of sell orders at 70 and 75. That's a bad break. That's an unfortunate development for me. But it is what it is. We're going to see. This is that game of variance, folks. This is that game of variance. The SPY is still getting sold. I'm going to need a lucky turnaround. I'm going to need like this to be it and buyers to step in like now. But unfortunately, they do not seem to be the most eager beavers to do that quite yet. knowing my luck, what's going to happen is it's going to perfectly tag me out and then rip. So not only am I going to suffer that loss, but then I'm going to be forced to trace it on the re-entry, and I'm going to need a nice trend then for it to all pay itself off. But we'll see. This is the game of trading. There's going to be variance. You could do dumb plays and make money. You could do smart plays and lose money. There's certain aspects of it that are just out of your control. The only thing that's like, you should really, like, I believe as a trader, you should spend all of your energy, specifically your emotional capital, focus on the things that you can control, which generally is you're picking when you get in, and then you're picking your risk reward management. And then at that point, it's just being like disciplined enough to stick to that said system. How long when Mac gets stopped out? Honestly, that probably wouldn't be the worst methodology. The amount of bad beats that you guys have all witnessed, it seems like the second I get stopped out, that it definitely can work for you. I honestly can't be mad about that, because like it almost feels uncanny the amount of times that would be like a perfect play. Oh, this is coming for me. It's about to tag me. It's about to tag me. This is so frustrating. So frustrating. I'll only be slightly red on the day. Like it's a loss that is 100% manageable. It's just the frustration of like, I felt like I waited an entire hour with you guys for that perfect trade, and then the perfect trade just not breaking my way. So it's more of frustration to do the right thing, be patient, wait for the trade, and then you do all that stuff, when in reality, if I just degenerately traded earlier where I thought I was going to pop, I probably would have made enough money. It's like one of those circumstances where doing the wrong thing seemingly would have made money, and doing the right thing is about to lose me money, unfortunately. Yeah, here I'm about to get tagged.
Order canceled.
Right there. It just took out that low. So it's a small loss. This is 100% manageable. But like I said, knowing my luck, it's going to bounce right from here. It's going to bounce right from here. So this is trading. You have to get used to it. Even though I'm confident in a bounce back, the reason I still like use that as my stop is because, once again, there's a non-0% chance that what if it just pukes and keeps going and going and going. Eventually, you're going to find that bad beat, and you're going to blow out your account. When, shit like this happens, like I said, do not be surprised. You're going to watch me get bottom ticked, and it's going to fucking just rip from here. Like, how many times have I shown that to you? It's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal. It happens. Like, literally bottom tick that, and it's just a part of trading. It is what it is. I'm not saying it ever gets easier, but it's just what trading can be. It's brutal, absolutely brutal. And you just got to get used to it. You got to understand that this is one trade's not going to make you. It could definitely break you, but you have to understand that what you're doing is engaging in a larger system. As in, like, you're here for that trade to play out many, many times. You don't care about just like that one time. Do I like this trade that I took here at 1034? Love it. VWAP bounce. We started to pop. I was looking for this follow through, and for a bit there, I was green. Apparently, it wanted to do a little bit of a reevaluation. Not only did we get the VWAP bounce on NQ, we got the downside gap fill on SPY. In my book, there were I love that trade. I'm going to take that trade 99 out of 100 times. I love that trade. This is just an example of a time it didn't work. And to think that a system is going to work every single time, well, no, that's just not how it's going to go. So you got to protect yourself. Knowing my luck, it's going to bounce from here. But the reason you still have to honor your risk is because, okay, what if some random thing happens and there's a big announcement and there's a huge drop and you just then blow out all your accounts and you're back to square one? Well, that's obviously a pretty brutal start. So is it fun? No, but the longer and longer you do it, you're going to get better at being a good loser. I think that's an important thing that is not talked about enough by any means, and I think it should actually be discussed more, is inevitably the best traders in the world are the people, they're not the best winners, they're the best losers. They're the people who are, you're like, you know what? This just isn't going right. They keep their losses small and they survive enough to just keep fighting in the game. Very much they're just the best losers. So in this case, actually, I would say that's a good loss because I was knocked out at 44. If I wrote it to here, I'd be off by another $200. So instead of being down 350, I'd be down 550. So like, it's stuff like that. You never know the next bar. You never know what the next candle is going to be. It might revert back in your favor and you could get lucky. But generally, just looking at the luck of my life, I'm not really here ever assuming that I'm just going to be like that lucky trade and it's going to like magically go in my favor. If anything, when it comes to trading, I think it's a better mindset to assume you're going to be uniquely unlucky. So if you trade in that defensive of a manner, I think it's going to be better off. And does this loss suck? Of course it does. But guess what? 350, that is 15 points in NQ. As in, it only has to go from 40 to 55, and I'm already back to break even. So, like, does it suck to go in the red? Of course it sucks to go in the red. Like, no trader would ever be like, yeah, no, I enjoy when I'm losing. But my point is that if you keep it small, by definition, it's manageable. And then you only need to catch one good trade to not only pay off those losses, but then to also make back all of that money. So that's it. I got to shut the borders down. What? Okay. I really wish I had a bit of better vision of what the fuck was going on in the... Yeah, I'm not getting that, but I do have another tool I could look at. Oh, hang on. We got pushed below VWAP. We just closed above it. Do I want to take another stab at it? Okay, if I take a stab at it here, my risk is another 20 points. That's another $400. That's down $750 on the day. That's down $750 on the day. Do I want to do that? What do I think the chance of us reversing right here really is? What do I think the chances of this being a reversal really is? 62. How confident am I? Not much aggressive buying. $65 is an interesting test.
Order submitted.
How do I want to play this? Do I want to go for the recent high at 1016 where all these people are selling at 23,200? Or do I want to go for more of like an afternoon swing and go for where we were at 930? Hey, Matt, love the show. Keep up the great work. P.S. Is CoreWeave a meme stock or the real deal? CoreWeave is like more of like a potential acquisition is what's going on with CoreWeave, I believe. Or am I thinking about Kohrs Energy? CoreWeave, CRWV, right? Let me check that one out. CRWV. Is this one that had the news about a potential acquisition, or was it Kohrs? Am I confusing these two? It might have been Core Scientific. This one is just more of a recent IPO, and don't they have something to do with like Nvidia or something like that? CoreWeave is never paid, blah, blah, blah. Engages in powers and creation and delivery intelligence that drives innovation, offers solution used by, so this is an AI play, but I don't like trading stocks that just made their debut. Like, there's just not that much data. Like, I'm very much a data-driven trader, and when you have something that's new, by definition, you have a lack of data. Kohrs, okay. Yeah, so CRWV, this is the one with has dealings with Nvidia. It's an AI play. Kohrs, which is kind of in the same world, this is the one that has a potential acquisition going on. Kind of similar name, so just to clarify the differentials between the two. This one has a little bit more data, well, actually a decent amount more data to go off of, but I'm assuming it was this day, Thursday, June the 26th, that we got this announcement of they might have an acquisition. CoreWeave buying Kohrs? Is that what it is? So is it actually those two together? CRWV. Wait, what is it? CRWV. Core, I'll just look it up. CoreWeave CoreWeave acquisition of Core Scientific. Okay, so that's it. This company is attempting to buy this company. So CRWV is attempting to buy CORZ. I knew there was some sort of like connection there. So that all popped on the 26th, CRWV on the 26th. How did this one actually react to it? Not much, slightly red that day. Not really my plays. For this one, it's just more of how good are you at determining if something will or won't be acquired. That's not necessarily my forte. But I do know a good chunk of people who are like uniquely bullish on that, if that helps with your own personal bias or whatsoever. But I don't have a position on it. When it comes to me in semiconductors, I'm playing Nvidia, I'm playing Avago, I'm playing AMD, I'm playing SMH, I'm playing Soxel. I'm either playing the whole industry or I'm playing like the bigger guys, not necessarily the smaller guys. Obviously, you could make a lot of money if you play the smaller guys properly. It's just not like by any means my specialty. Not by any fuck. Well, I tried buying the dip, but the dip just keeps on dipping. Unfortunately. The dip keeps on dipping, and I really, really wish I had some vision right now. So that's another $2. That's another $2. All right. We're at the intraday low, fresh intraday low on the SPY. We're actually now in that red territory. But the Qs here, I'm wondering if people will react to this low at 10:03 and this low at 9:39. Let's see. Matt, you said yourself an hour ago not to go long. I definitely did not say that. What? I said, in fact, I'm only thinking about going long and the bulls are in control and I'm looking for the opportunity to go. Pickle, are you high? What in the world are you talking about? I think you must be listening to a different show. Because I definitely. Tesla with some news out. Oh, Tesla just took a bit of a hit. Well, Tesla's been bleeding all day. Fresh intraday low. Fresh intraday low. What do we have going on here? Where are these dip buyers? Mexico President Sheinbaum, Mexico will announce other measures if an agreement with the U.S. regarding new tariffs is not reached by August 1st. Interesting. Hang on, let me see if there's what other breaking news we might be having going on here. France's PM, we will call on taxpayers who can make a bigger effort to do so by limiting certain tax breaks. Additional tax measures will target the highest earners with okay, that has nothing to do with this. Tesla North American sales executives leaves the company as sales decline. Tesla North American sales executive, that's not good. They're losing a lot of internal people to the team there. I'm trying to find any other breaking news. But right now, things are a bit lackluster. Things are a bit lackluster. So the SPY got its downside gap fill. It wouldn't be pretty, but maybe the NASDAQ is looking for its downside gap fill. That would not be pretty in the slightest. Who knows? Who knows? 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish. 30 minutes actually breaking down. I don't like this. This is what's freaking me out a little bit, is the 30 minute is taking a decent size hit. 5 minute, 10 minute are bearish, but the 30 minutes at least holding on NQ. Obviously a break below 80, 90 would push us below that. We have the support at 40. I wonder how bad. That's just straight selling, folks. I guess we have some profit taking heading into vol OPEX tomorrow. But just see how we have a clear lack of green bubbles. Like they attempted to buy a bit here at maybe like 1048. That's when we recovered VWAP, but then we got pushed right below VWAP once again. Fuck. Not ideal, team. Not ideal. Oh, brother. How do I want to handle this? All right, we might have... Well, there's sitting buyers here at 100. The question is... Are there enough? Lots of sitting buy orders at 23,100. Appears to be some sort of like a natural target for the shorts at this level, which isn't the craziest thing. Let's see, though. Let's see what the hell happened here. I guess they just didn't get the memo today. Starting to disappear a little bit. Looks like the buy orders are quickly getting dropped to around 90. But here, you see how that's getting dark? Okay. Maybe it bounces off of 23,100. That's a big maybe, though. I just like the last time we saw clear buying 1007, 1012, 1015, and then they just kind of lost it. And since then, little bits of buying, but more so of just aggressive selling. Ooh, even that. Do you see how it flipped there for a second? Aggressive selling at 25, quickly sending it right back down. Quickly sending it right back down. Yeah, look at that. They're putting a clear ceiling on it. But they're also trying to put a floor on it. Basically, we're right now in a very, very short-term analysis. They're trying to see maybe this floor will hold at 3,100. But then we also have the ceiling at 25. Ooh, who's going to win this battle? Who is going to win this battle? All right. Well, the 3,100 players, those sitting buy orders are getting, yeah, they're aggressively getting filled as we speak. Well, if there were a level that people wanted to step in and do something, this would be it. But as of now, the data is suggesting that those buyers are at the moment nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Wow. All right, hang on. They were flashing there for someone's trying to put up a fight. It's just the Bulls have not won any of these fights yet today. What is going on? So those orders legit got filled. Those sitting buy orders at 23,100, they were there. You can see this red circle. They actually got filled. There's another chunk of orders seemingly at 90, which in real time, like we're going to see it in a second, but it does appear that they're also getting filled. But things are slowing down. And it makes sense because they're running into a big floor right here. But there is a chance that they fill all these sitting buy orders. There's still aggressive selling, and then we drop even more. Okay. Some buying, finally hitting the tape. Finally. Let's see. But remember, don't get too stoked because pretty much all day we see a little bit of buying, and it just gets smashed. Can I move myself? Yeah. Let me. Well, hang on. Hang on. I'm setting up a new scene so you guys can see it top. Oops, sorry. Hang on, I'm trying to get it set up so I can move myself. Oops. We're moving. All right, there you go. So you can see it a little bit better. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, chaps. Sorry about that. Anyway, just the battle. Buyers are stepping in. What's this? All right, basically you have buyers at 90, sellers at 20. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Sorry about that, cheerio. In it. One nag of that one. Finally, the real Matt. All right, well, those sell orders disappeared. Dude, fucking buyer, step in. You're being a bit of a bitch. Come on. Let's just take these out. Let's get a pop back up to VWAP at 48. Let's get a pop back up to the POC, the point of control, the high volume node of the day at 65. Let's battle it out in this zone. I don't want to be battling out all the way here. Oh, that's completely frozen. That's not good. Panic. Panic at the Disco. What's going on? Can you? Okay, it's fixed now, I think. But see, I don't know what side of the screen. Do I need to make this? Should I always? Do you guys prefer me in the bottom left and then we just readjust the screen somehow? I don't know how to do this. Or maybe when I'm on this scene, I'm in the bottom right. But then when I'm in this scene, I'm in the bottom left. I need to do something. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Because like over here, I'm blocking it. Yeah, that's better here. But then when we're looking at this, you guys want me over here. But then if we're looking at this, well, sometimes it's here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. Sometimes it's big. Sometimes you guys don't even want to see me at all. Like, you guys just want me gone. Oh, so many options. The world is, I prefer, you guys prefer it like this. Thumbs up if you prefer it like this. Thumbs up if you're like, you know what? It's just better this way. Thumbs up, just nothing but a silky smooth voice. Oh, this is not going to plan. This is not going to expectation. Well, we were bottom of the transition zone, found support right there. Maybe a relief bounce up to yesterday's close at 68, 69. Oh, there's just no follow through aggressive buying. We get like really, really small spurts, really small spurts of some buying. And then like, there's just no follow through on it as of now. Weak selling. All right, there's some buying. Come on, get some fucking follow through. I want to see it take out this 25-30 region and then go back up to 48, which is VWAP, this white horizontal line right here. And then the point of control, the highest volume traded price is 165. I want to see us battle it out in this 15-point region, not all the way like 40 points below. But it's just, you see these giant green circles, you're going to need quite a few of those to like break this. That's a lot of sitting sell orders. Come on, take it out. Take it out. Oh no, selling. That's aggressive selling. Yeah. No, every single time we start to get an uptick, it's just, there's no follow through. There's not even that much aggressive selling going on right now. There's just like a massive lack of like aggressive buying. The bulls are out to lunch. I actually don't even know if they woke up yet today. All right. Well, from a technical standpoint, at least on the 5-minute, I'd be very interested to know if the SPY takes out 625.39. It is this high at 1045. On the Qs, I'd be very interested to know if we take out this downsloping trend line starting at 1015 connected to 1030. It's going to be around the low 559s. Tesla's unfortunately getting hit. Palantir stalled out. Nvidia did pop, giving it back. Avago pop, gave it back. ASML down flat. Tesla bleeding. Palantir pop, going sideways. Meta dropped, going sideways. Netflix popped, going sideways. Microsoft popped, going sideways, potentially waking up a little bit right now. Apple popped, dropped, maybe turning it around right now. Soxel costing me money. Zero liquidity at all in this market right now. No, there's a lot of liquidity. What do you mean by, what are you trying to say? I think maybe you're mixing up terms. What do you mean by zero liquidity? I think there might be a terminology mismatch here. There's actually quite a bit. I mean, looking at ES, NQ, SPY, SPX, NDX, QQQ, those are forever some of the most like liquid markets. What are you trying to say when you're saying there's zero liquidity? Soxel's actually getting a little bit of a pop. Nvidia, Avago. Is Microsoft waking back up? Maybe. Undecided candles for sure. It feels like it's an undecided candle. Did he mean light volume? There might be light volume, but remember, volume and liquidity are two different things. Volume is how many trades are actually transacted, like a willing buyer and seller meeting and agreeing on a certain price. That's volume. That's like how much is traded. Liquidity is how much is built out on the buy and the sell side, below price on the buy side and above price on the sell side. Liquidity is how much could be traded. Volume is how much was traded. Matt, why do you not trade gold? I don't know. I trade Bitcoin. It just doesn't move as much as other markets. It comes back to capital efficiency. If gold had more volatility, I would get into it probably. Oh, I guess the market gods, typically a big green Monday goes a bit red on Tuesday. Is that true? Is there actually like stats that back? I don't know of that statistical pattern if that's true. Typically a big green Monday goes a bit red on Tuesday. That might be true, but I've never heard of that stat before. If true. If the stock market is green on Monday, what are the odds it being red on Tuesday? If the stock market is green on Monday, what are the odds of it being red on Tuesday? Let's see what AI has to say. Let's see what AI has to say. When Monday is green, Tuesday is red 52 to 54% of the time. Tuesday is green 46 to 48% of the time. Feels like it's pretty 50-50 to me, dog. If Monday's up, Tuesday was down 53% of the time. If Monday was down, Tuesday was up 58% of the time. Feels like the odds are for a green Monday followed by a red Tuesday. There's like a slight edge. You have a 2 to 4% edge. It's just an observation. Yeah, but is it an accurate observation? Just, if you see something happen once or twice, that's not an edge. That's just a single occurrence of that. Noticing it one or two times does not. If you wake up one day and it's cloudy and rainy out, you wouldn't extrapolate out and say, oh, it's rainy and cloudy every single day. You need like a decent amount of data to make those types of statements, especially to the point if you're trading off of it. Matt, she's moving. Thank fucking God. I almost blew out my account. Matt, she's moving. She's moving, Matt. Oh, here we go. Oh, hang on. Am I in the right area? All right. We got to take out. Okay. We're running into a VWAP issue. Lots of people trying to sell that old VWAP. The old VWAP. I think I need to go to a steam room. Do any of you guys want to go to a steam room after this? If you're in the New York area? I think I need to go to a steam room to get all this like junk out of my nose. I don't know if I'm having allergies. I told you guys yesterday that my throat's just been like insanely dry. And I think going into a steam room would help. I think it would help with that. Do you guys want to see the coolest birthday card I got? This has nothing to do with trading, but I just need to share this with you. Someone sent me this as a birthday card. Have you guys seen a fucking cooler birthday card than this? Like, honestly. Out of a 10, this is an 11. Did you guys even know that they make cats eating pizza in outer space as a birthday card? I'm just saying. I bet none of you guys got that card, but I did. Bet you guys didn't even know that exists, but it does. And I got it. Not AI. Yeah, a lot of people are going to say that's Photoshop, but it's real. A lot of people are going to say that that card is Photoshop, but it's not. It's trust me, it's real. It's real. Is Matt into the pizza thing. What do you mean the pizza thing? What do you mean by that? The pizza thing. Yeah, see, when I'm on this screen, I need to be like up here. Or maybe over here. Or maybe there. Or maybe there. But over here does not seem so good. But if I go over here, that makes this one more difficult. Well, it's fine if we're trending up. Okay, so I only can't be down here if we're like trending down. Obviously, this still like kind of works. You guys get the vibe. All right, we are running into problems. Bros and broettes, we're running into straight up problems at VWAP. Selling, a little bit of selling right here, right at VWAP. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. That's a bit of a problem. That's a bit of a problem. Yeah, we just tagged VWAP at 47 right here. Tagged it, sold. Didn't even absorb that much liquidity. That's not good. That's a lot of selling at VWAP. Holy shit. Look at how many people are trying to get out right there. Right at 50, right below 50. A little bit of selling, a lot of selling. Dude, that's just ripping us up. Bounce, buddy. You could do it. Take us back. Fight it out. Fight. Pizzagate. Someone said VIX spiking. Yeah, looks like a massive spike to me. I, too, would define this as a VIX spike. I, as well, your fellow colleague retail trader, would say this is a gigantic VIX spike. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, dare I say it. Folks, do not remember 80% off the spot gamma pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Make sure you use that link. We are the only retail community that they give this deal to. And then also, this is the last day with Tradeify. The first time you use it, Goonie, you're going to get 50% off. And this one's a cool one because they allow you to go straight to funded, so you don't have to do the eval. So before you get like the price sticker shock, understand that you don't have to go through the funded test. You straight up start as funded if that's the account you buy. But I'm just letting you know because the deal ends today. And then after that, you're going to get 35% off all accounts. So 50% off the first one and then 35% off the following ones. Deal ends today at 11:59. So just want to let you guys know about that. Only close out of those bad boys. I would love a follow through. On this. All right, I should set up alerts where I know I'm just going to get busted up and lose my accounts. Come on, Tonto. Microsoft is looking good. Palantir is giving a little bit up. Meta's bouncing a little bit. Netflix is flat. Apple and Microsoft are going. How's Nvidia? Not? I mean, okay, so the world's biggest stock is just kind of doing nothing. But number 2 and number 3 are getting a pump. Come on. At least give us a shot at this trend line breakout. You know, give us a shot. Give it the old college try at least. Give us the old college try. All right, folks. Well, it ain't looking so pretty for me. I'm going to be honest, but maybe, just maybe, I'll get lucky. But this is going to be an issue. This is going to be a problem. A lot of sell-side liquidity and not many buyers stepping up as of now. You see these giant green circles? That's what I need to see just to even have a shot of getting back to break even. I need some big swinging bulls to step into the market. Maybe I'll get lucky. Come on, brothers. Come on, brothers and sisters. You could do it. Look at that, dude. Things just got rocked at 1050. Sold. Bye. Some selling, and now it's just indecisive. All I can tell you is that's a lot. That is a lot. That's probably institutions just selling at VWAP. Holy fuck. That's a lot, guys. Guys and gals and everything in between. That is double down. You want me to buy long right now? Like in the face of all this? I'm good. I've done silly things in my day, but I don't know if I should be that silly. Buying long right in front of a giant amount of sell orders. That doesn't necessarily feel like my best idea. I mean, I've had good ideas, and that's a good idea, but I don't know if it's my best idea. I'm getting the vibes that it's not necessarily my best idea. Now, if these people pulled their orders and all of a sudden it was a fake out, that's a different story. But all I can tell you is as of 11:19 on Tuesday, July the 15th, they are there. They could be spoof orders. They might get steamrolled. I don't know. But as of this exact moment, they are there. They are square. They are there. They are square. Microsoft's taking off. Apple's taking off. I mean, the pump in Microsoft, the pump in Apple should be helping the NASDAQ for sure. For sure. Soxel, come on, fuckers. I mean, that's a nice pop. Microsoft's going for a new all-time high. Not far away whatsoever. Not far away. Yeah, we're about to hit it. It's, 30 cents away? Microsoft making that fight for being the world's most valuable company. How close are they? The Q's touching that trend line. Trend line touch. Let's see if it could actually break out. A breakout and a follow through on the Q's might be the trade of the day. But that's also a giant if, because guess what? We got smacked at a huge amount of sell side liquidity. We barely just touched it. Went up into it, destroyed. Jesus. That's going to take a lot of buying to get through. Look at it. It's like the fucking Great Wall of China up there. It's going to just take forever. Like, we chipped away at it a little bit more, and it's just, if anything, it feels like it's gotten stronger. That's a lot of selling. Right at VWAP. Right below the POC. I mean, it's possible, but the bulls have their work cut out for them for sure. They definitely have their work cut out for them. Anyway, Microsoft's looking good. Apple's looking good. Top companies by market cap. How far away are Microsoft and Nvidia right now? So Nvidia is worth 4.17 trillion, while Microsoft is worth 3.76. So they're really not that close. What was that? Microsoft just hit a new all-time high, making a push to be worth 4 trillion. Making that push to be worth 4 trillion. All right, folks. It's about that point in the day where I need to go hang out with the old Discord and see what we can do together as the Goonie trading team. So, like I said, if you want to use Spot Gamma, it's in the description of the video, 80% off by using that link. And then today's the last day for Tradeify, which is a unique SIM-to-funded program because they allow you to start off in a funded account. Don't forget to use that code Goonie to get that big discount. No reason you should be paying that full price tag. For me, my trades right now, I have a locked-in loss of $350, and I currently have an open position also down 300. So right now we're trading at 23,145.46. We're at VWAP. Actually, maybe I should show this to you guys because this could be important. We took out some of that liquidity, but basically, if we're at VWAP, just know that my account is net down like $600 per account. So multiply that out by 23, and it's a lot of money. Doesn't make me necessarily feel so good, but hey, if we can keep popping here, I might have a shot to not only go to break even, maybe make a couple dollars, maybe make a couple buckaroos. I'm almost back to break even on this trade. Not the worst trade ever. All right, obviously this should be massively moved up. But yeah, we just recaptured VWAP. For me to go to break even, that would actually also be the technical breakout that I'm looking for. This isn't necessarily my profit target. This isn't necessarily my stop. I just have it on an OCO because I'm forced to, but I'm almost back to where I need to be. Almost. Was I a little early to the trade? You bet your bottom dollar. I did not expect this 10-minute sell-off, but I'm very happy I at least didn't go long in there and get caught in that first trap. So was I a bit early? Yeah, I went long at 10:45 on that pop. Turns out that there was another 10 minutes of selling that I had to withstand. But hey, it's it might work out in my favor. We just got to beat these negative Nancys, beat their skulls in. These guys. I just heard, and like, I'm not saying this is like true, but I heard the people who are trying to sell at 23,165 are a bunch of girly men, and they're a bunch of giant fucking pussies. So that's just what I heard. I'm not saying it's necessarily true. I don't want to get sued for like slander or something like that, but just like the rumor mill, the hot rumor mill has just been saying that these people who are attempting to sell right here are a bunch of giant girls. So that's just what I heard. Take it or leave it however you want, but I just heard that they're a bunch of little baby men. And that's maybe something that should be considered, especially if you happen to be one of those people selling there. Just throwing that out there. Just throw that out. It's just a rumor I heard. I'm not saying the rumor's true. Sometimes rumors are really, really bad and like not necessarily appropriate. I just heard that these people are giant girls. That's just all. I'm just letting you guys know the rumor that I heard is not necessarily true. Anyway, folks, that's what I have for you. I'm going to go hang out on the Discord. I hope to see you in the Discord. Check out Spot Gimmo. Check out Tradeify. The Tradeify deal ends tonight at midnight. Don't forget to use that code Goonie. Tomorrow, today at 2 p.m., there's the Fed Beige Book. And then tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, we get the Producer Price Index. So there's another inflation report tomorrow, an hour before the cash session gets going. So that's what I have for you, D-Gens. I hope you guys made a lot of money. I hope you made a boatload of money. I hope you make even more money on Twitter, on X later today. I'll give you guys an update of how my trade goes. Obviously, you guys know I have a locked-in loss of $350 per account. Right now, I have an unrealized loss of another $100, so I'm almost back to break even there. And hopefully this is my last trade of the day. If I do what I should be doing, this should be the last trade of my day. So hopefully I am disciplined enough to pull that off. That's what I have for you. I'll keep you guys updated. We'll have an update video later on today, and then we'll be streaming once again tomorrow morning. I hope to see you there. I appreciate all the good vibes. Love you all. Peace.